Remember that the numbers can symbolize your date for your birthday or any particular date referring to your experience. It may also represent anyone close to you that is mentioned in the reading. The numbers may also represent your life path number. A repetition of numbers can represent angel numbers. These may also represent your age. These numbers can also represent the month or a timeline specifying the amount of days, weeks, or months. The numbers may also represent a time that you see quite often when you look at your clock, repetitive numbers that show up frequently around you, randomly or intentionally. The colors may represent colors that you see often around you as symbolism. The colors may also represent your chakras. These may also represent your favorite color. The letters that show signs can relate to the season when whatever situation that was mentioned may occur, or this could be your star sign or your partner's star sign, okay? It could be family, it could be friendship, could be anyone on the job, or just generally season when something began or when you met someone. Sometimes it can also refer to the current experience or future references that are possible to happen. Let's get started. So pile 1. The first card that we have is number 5. This card will represent the shadows that you have overcome in order to glow. Okay, so it says the very biggest highlighted word there is no. This is almost like a feeling of rejection. So some of you may have felt rejected by someone, or you may have been rejected in a situation maybe where you put yourself out there, like maybe you could have applied for something that you've been dreaming of being a part of. Some of you may have rejected someone else, and maybe even you rejected an offer that you felt like didn't resonate with your path. Basically, this shadow side of yourself that you've overcome is you being able to say no. I think for some of you, for the longest time, you've been people pleasers, or maybe you also really struggled to put yourself first or prioritize your needs or even speak out about your needs. Some of you could have been really struggling with coping with something difficult. This could have been something that happened in the past. Some of you maybe just struggle, for example, with insomnia, like you really struggle with sleep or the kind of job you have. Maybe you're overworking, something that takes a lot out of your time or your mind. Something was overwhelming you for quite some time, whether it's people, places, or situations, or maybe even your own decisions, okay? So maybe this is you dealing with addictions or habits, bad habits or patterns, maybe even changing a cycle here, okay? So for some of you, maybe you used like a lot of medication, or you were suffering with some kind of physical illness here, maybe mental, maybe emotional, depending on your situation. But you could have dealt with an illness here that required you to take a lot of medication to cope. Okay. I see that you are someone who is basically overcoming this illness. So if maybe it's like a chronic illness or something that really took a lot of your confidence, your self-esteem, okay, and just mentally it was maybe draining or emotionally draining. But this is an illness or any situation that you're going through, a memory, okay, it could even just be purely a memory, but this is something that you're overcoming. I see you becoming someone who's becoming a lot more healthier, okay? So you are now saying no to this thing that try to overpower you. This could even be someone that maybe try to control your life, the narrative of a situation, and even if maybe someone try to set you up, okay? This could be work, this could be family, this could be friends, or even a partnership, depending on your situation, okay? But I do see that for some of you, you're overcoming a lot of negative talk, okay? People speaking a certain way about you, okay? But the secrets are coming out and people are being exposed for their intentions towards you, or you're being defended, okay, in a situation. So, or you're defending yourself. You're learning to say no, okay? Even people that try to take advantage of you, or people that try to use you for situations so that they can benefit. I see that someone else here might be also receiving an apology for someone who had spread misinformation or who was just caught in the crossfire of their lies. Okay, some of you are just dealing with the situation where you're also just receiving an apology because maybe there was just genuinely a misunderstanding in the communication. So now there's much clear communication in this connection, or whoever the other person is that you are dealing with that is giving you an apology. Some of you might also be the ones giving the apology because maybe you were wrong, or this is a situation where both of you had played your role and made mistakes, and you both apologizing for how you had contributed negatively, okay? The next card we have is the Joker card, which is 360-degree feedback. This card speaks about someone also who may have experienced a situation where they were waiting to receive a message, waiting to receive an email or call, feedback about a situation, or something maybe you had been a part of. So this could be like a project, this could be an idea, this could be financially involved. This could also be just maybe you asked to go out with someone, okay? You're waiting for the response, that kind of situation, okay? So it could be any experience relating to you, but this could be just you maybe waiting to get a response, okay? About something you have some sort of interest or some sort of desire that you have regarding a situation. And maybe in the past you may have been rejected, you may have received like a straight up no. So for example, if someone may have applied for something, this could be a loan, this could be education, this could be like in terms of scholarships, you know, and all that. This could be a situation where you applied for a mortgage, a home, right? So this could be a loan for a car, right? So anything that you are focused on currently, okay? You could have also been straight up rejected by a person you liked, okay? You had a crush on them, or someone that you had a relationship with and they had, you know, some sort of differences with you, and you guys decided it's not working, you know, even if it's a friendship. So this could be a situation where you separated from someone, or you just decided you've outgrown this connection and you guys needed some space, okay? So this could be Also a situation, like I said, work related, where you applied for a job, okay, or someone else, maybe if it's about, for example, family related, some people could have applied for adoption, okay. Maybe you're also trying to get a pet, so you're trying to travel, okay. Maybe you could have applied for a visa, or an identity and stuff like that, your ID and stuff like that. So it could be anything, your license, etc. So this could have been a situation where you received a no before, right? We had the previous card, number 5. So you could have literally were dealing with maybe abandonment issues. This could be also related to maybe your relationship with your parents or your family, your sisters, your cousins, etc., right? But you could have been in a situation where you just felt left out. Okay, you felt like you were not chosen, you were not picked in the crowd, or you were not chosen by someone you chose. Okay, you were not being chosen by the career that you wanted. Okay, like you felt a little out of place. Okay, so this is a situation where there's going to be 360-degree feedback. So some of you, this could be an entirely new experience. Okay, for some of you, this could be the old experience representing itself differently this time. Okay, but the past is not repeating itself, because this is no longer a no. This is feedback about why it was no, and how it can be improved, how it can change. Okay, so which means how it can become a yes. So it's almost like you're using it as a tool to push you forward, and it represents a positive change in your life. Okay, so what once felt negative no longer feels negative. Okay, so you might also be interacting with people who are very high in the rank of things. Okay, so this could be like in a job, this is a supervisor, this is a manager, CEO, whatever it may be. So you may be applying for a position that has like authority, like you going to be in charge or a leader. Okay, or you could be in a situation where you are communicating with someone who is a leader, someone who has some kind of authority, and maybe this is the right connection for what you're trying to achieve. Okay, maybe you're asking the right questions, you're doing the right investigations, you're getting the right information, you're doing the right research. Okay, for some of you, if this is like you're the CEO, you're the creator of the idea, you're the person maybe pushing some kind of business, entrepreneurship. Okay, some of you are just receiving maybe positive feedback from your customers. They're telling you how they like the product or your services. Some people are coming back with more customers, and you're meeting more like-minded people. You're meeting more people that are on your level, or people that are pretty much aligned with the energy level that you're at. Okay, so as you can see here, the expression of the card, the Joker. So also what once felt like you were humiliated, you were the joke or the loser, it's no longer represented that way. Okay, for some of you who are waiting for feedback about a situation regarding maybe about information that is about you. So if you were waiting to receive information about yourself regarding a situation that is connected to you, you're receiving feedback about it. Okay, some people here are also just generally receiving test results. Okay, so if you did like test results, or you did write a test, you're receiving feedback. Okay, so maybe if you failed the test before, or you didn't do so great and you're trying to rewrite something or fix your marks, this is excelling this time around. It's coming back with better feedback, okay, about what once didn't work out, basically. So some of you here, anything that is related to you receiving a date, a booking, an appointment, something that needs to be approved. Okay, so for example, if you're dealing with a court case or whatever it may be, you're receiving something about a date regarding to when you're going or when something is occurring. Some of you, even if it's something regarding the government, okay, like you booked an appointment or you going to a certain meeting, or just going to receive some kind of information or some kind of document or certification regarding what you're trying to achieve at this time, in this moment in time, right? So you're receiving feedback about that. Okay, the next card we have is card number 1, which is the Ace card. It says how we roll. And if you see that there's a document, right, with like a tick in the middle of that magnifier, right? So magnifying glass in this situation is more like now there's clarity. Okay, there's clarity about a situation. Something is being brought to your attention, and now it's a lot more clearer. Okay, there's no in-betweens where maybe they like, oh, we'll get back to you. It's not like they extending the amount of time. Maybe before it was way too extended. A lot of things were delayed. It took a lot of time. Okay, the impatience was getting to you. Okay, so but this time around, everything is straight to the point, or everything is, there's a certain order that you need to follow, and it follows through, right? And the documentations is exactly what I was expressing about somebody receiving dates or some sort of reassurance about something that they've been waiting for in terms of paperwork or legality, right? Something that has to do with legal work of some sort. Okay, even if it's just paperwork about your car, paperwork about your house, your money, like I said, adoption, all things like that, anything regarding ownership. Okay, because here it says we take ownership and accountability for our own work. So this is also expressing that you are accountable and you have ownership for something. So there's something that belongs to you here. I think you've worked hard for, and it will represent your hard work, and people will give you the credit for it. Okay, so whether it's this idea or whether it's this thing that you got yourself that expresses some kind of success or achievement in your life. Okay, so this paperwork here is going to be resolved. Okay, so there's nothing to worry about. So if you've been anxious and stressing about something here, the glow up is the situation is changing from what used to feel negative to something positive. So what was a struggle or a delay or what felt stagnant is actually causing some sort of like movement. So there's no longer resistance there was in the past. Okay, and you have the representation of owning up to your decisions, owning up to the dreams that you've chosen to follow, the career that you've chosen to have, the family that you have. You take full responsibility, and I think that's what makes you stand out, is the fact that you live in your truth and people see it. I also see someone here who may be receiving an apology, where there's accountability and ownership to what had happened. So if you're apologizing or the other person is apologizing, whoever it may be, the situation is, there's clarity now, and no more pointing fingers. I think here it's more about the person who caused the misunderstanding, even if it's both of you, okay, but just knowing where you played your part generally, knowing how they had affected the situation. So in this pile here, I see a lot more financial growth, but also generally independence. Okay, I see this group gaining a lot of independence in a lot of things. Okay, so if, for example, if someone maybe is dealing with divorce and things like that, separation, right, you would be gaining your part of your half, or there's a certain level of fairness here where you're receiving something that you own, right? So that's an example. So just take it how it resonates in terms of your paperwork. So if someone here has been, for example, planning to move into like a new place, or getting a place that they're basically like comfortable with and all that. This is more like you receiving paperwork to have ownership to this new place, even if it's rental, guys, but it's almost like it's your money, or it's your independence. You get to choose what to do, and that's why you own it, right? You own it. So I also see here that with the secrets coming out, it's almost like people having to own up to their lives as well. People who had spread in misinformation or anything like that, they're having to take responsibility. So whether they're getting in trouble for like maybe setting someone up, or causing some sort of illusion or some sort of destruction in a situation, it's almost like the secret is coming out, or there's an exposure about a situation, the true intentions of a situation, and people are seeing things more clearly about a particular person. And I feel like they're going to be receiving some sort of like paperwork or anything that shows that they are accountable, right? And even if it's not direct paperwork, but they having to take some sort of accountability, because what they had said or what they had done is being rejected now. So if you were rejected because of what they did, it's almost like they're being rejected because of now realizing what this person actually did. Okay, so this also may be a situation of work, like involving managers or involving your customer, or anyone, maybe your peers, people around you, or whatever it may be. Okay, so just take it how it fits. But this is this could be someone young, between the ages of 18 to 35, or you could be between the ages of 35, but you could be dealing with maybe someone younger than you, or you might be younger than this person. Okay, maybe you're not exactly the same age. So for some of you, maybe that's where the difference of opinion is. Okay, for some of you, you're being advised to move in silence, move privately, try not to get too much attention on yourself. Yes, naturally be yourself. Don't get me wrong, don't dim your light. Be yourself, be natural. Let your light speak for you. Let your hard work speak for you. Let your nature, who you are, speak for you. You don't have to try and compete or fit in or blend or even try to overly defend yourself. You don't have to do too much. Okay, you can breathe. Let the higher power speak on your behalf. Let God, your angels, your ancestors, the truth itself, let it work on your favor. It always comes out. Okay, just be strategic, observe, don't react. And for some of you, there are people who want to be a part of your new beginning because they see now you have ownership of some really important and valuable things, and they actually want it. They want to be a part of it. So maybe you've elevated in certain areas of your life, whether it's spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever it might be. But maybe they feel like they can benefit something from it. Could even be financially. This is a situation where you have to discern, know the difference. Obviously, knowing the history of the person or the kind of person they are, learning the kind of person they are. Observe, like I said, to understand, so that you don't make the same mistakes in the past where maybe you trusted people, like you were naive about situations, or you gave people the benefit of the doubt a little too much. So just be, move slow and steady this time. I think maybe if you rushed things in the past, you're being kind of advised to take your time with things. Okay, so this is just to also avoid people taking advantage of you and dealing with unnecessary situations. So there are people who want to be a part of your new beginning because of good reasons, and the others because of bad reasons. There are people who are going to want to sabotage it, but there are also people who are going to want to elevate it. Okay, so you're going to have to know the difference. Okay, and this is going to be between you and God. Okay, you and your higher power, you and the divine. The next card is Harmony. Number 3 is on the card. And we have power, self-confidence and productivity. Okay, this is pretty much just clarifying what we had spoken about. For some of you, productivity is the ability to, maybe after a while of not being able to do much, now you're doing quite some, exciting things, like you're finally moving around, you're working on something that's inspiring, you're making it passionate. Some of you are just really working a lot more. Maybe you're back from leave, or you're back from holiday, and you're going back to work and you're inspired. But some of you are just generally productive here, even if it's just keeping busy with your hobbies, right? But yeah, you're starting to feel involved. You're starting to feel like you belong. You're starting to feel in place, okay? You're starting to feel aligned with something here. Something is starting to make sense. You're feeling like you're flowing naturally into this. Self-confidence, you're believing in yourself. You're trusting yourself a lot more. You're trusting in your power. And it's making you glow because your ability to express your power, but silently, because if you're someone who moves in silence, it's like you're not loud, you're not making noise about your moves, okay? People are just seeing it in your natural ability to just express what you are, who you are, what you're capable of, how you do it. People see it, that wow, they're really doing good. Look at their skin, it's glowing. Look at their money, it's popping, And if you see in the picture, in this woman, on her chest and on her forehead, she has the symbol of a star, which is this pile, right? So you are the star of the show because you're getting attention, maybe, or people are looking, or people are asking questions. People are curious, how do you do it? Or who are they? Whether it's out of jealousy or out of good intention, it doesn't really matter. But it's like people are starting to recognize and giving you credit for it in some shape or form, okay? Because you are the star. And then we have the next card, which is the Eight of Stones. In this picture, you see that this person is dressed in a green outfit. This also represents the heart chakra, right? So some of you are just you've unlocked your heart space. Maybe some of you dealt with breakups and heartbreaks from past relationships, or just generally your family, because we do experience heartbreaks from different people. For some of you, it's just the people that are family that you're close to, that you love. Some of you, it's relationships. Others are friendships, okay? Others are just generally their careers, people that they work with. So because we're so passionate about what we do, so this is a situation where I feel like you've let go of a situation that really held you back, okay, that really had a lot of control over your mind. Maybe it developed into a little obsession or something that made you overthink a lot, okay? It could be anything. It could be like a past failure. It could be stress, okay? Anything. So this is a situation where you've released the heartbreak, or you've released the effect it has on you, the power you've given it over you, okay? Because remember, you've gained your power back. You've become more confident, right? And in the picture, you see this person is being productive. This person is keeping themselves, inspired. So some of you could be creative in so many ways. I mean, this image here, some people could be people that are dealing with food, okay? You work in the industry of food, right? We have the basket there with the fruits, right? Or maybe you're someone who loves fruits. You enjoy eating them. Others could be selling food. Some people could be making food, okay? Others just generally love cooking. Others are chefs, okay? Others are dietitians. Others are health experts, okay? Others are like gym dietitian kind. I'm not even sure what they call. But I'm not very I don't know a lot of names well with careers, but this could be just involving, the the focus of what I'm talking about, right? So maybe others farming, right? Maybe you grow, like I said, food from scratch. You work in farming, right? Agriculture, I think that's what it's called. Okay, others could do like pottery. There's a beautiful I forgot what's the name, but like others could be doing pottery, right? You design different things with your hands. Others could be doing jewelry. Others could be doing clothing. Others could be doing bags, right? Looking at the image itself, right? Others could be selling different items generally. You could be like someone who sells a lot of different products. Okay, this could be beauty industry. It doesn't even have to be just making things with your hands. You could be working in the beauty industry, right? Putting people makeup, making people look good. You're a stylist. Fashion kind of industry. Maybe you are someone who loves to some of you could be people that just generally create things from scratch. Okay, you just make something from the bottom. Okay, some of you are people who basically maybe like you just work at a store, even if you work for someone else, but maybe you work at a store that offers some kind of product or service. Okay, maybe you work in sales, or you offer some kind of services, customer service. Some of you could be just working on different projects. So you could be someone maybe working full-time job, and then you also have something on the side where you're working on a project or something independently that also makes you some kind of money or will make you some kind of money. Okay, some of you could have been people who won like some kind of gold medal, or you won some kind of golden ticket, or you won some kind of check or certificate or some kind of appreciation. Okay, you received a recognition, or you will receive recognition or appreciation, some kind of reward that will identify you as someone who has achieved what you've achieved. Okay, so this will make you stand out to say this person. So whether you win a random competition or you won something here, or even if it's not necessarily like you're number one winner, but you're like part of the highest people. Okay, if there's like top 3, it's like you're part of the top 3. If top 5, you're part of the top 5, that kind of situation. So your reputation is your glow up. You're improving in terms of how people just generally view you. Even the haters love you. Even the haters want to be like you. Even haters are taking notes. Even haters want to, know what you know, how you do what you do, Like even the haters love you. You know what I mean? They love to hate you. And I don't even think it's personal. I don't think you did necessarily, I don't think some of you have necessarily done anything to these people. I think this is just, maybe for example, if some people you grew up with them in the same hood, around the same neighborhood, they're just taking notes on how, wow, you've generally improved from when they saw you growing up, right? Into who you've chosen to become. And they inspired. Some people, you can be like new in the office, and just generally people learning like how you do things is like a different way, or how you stand out, or the fact that maybe you're really one of the best, you're very hardworking. And some people are just inspired, even the people that feel competitive or look competitive, or express some kind of competition. You might not even be part of it, but this is out of purely inspiration. Okay, I feel like this pile, as much as you felt rejected or you had these abandonment issues, but you're starting to get recognition and people are giving you attention, something maybe you didn't always have. Maybe you were always isolated, you were always in the corner, you were always left out, or you were always just alone, or you preferred to be alone. Okay, not everyone is alone because they were left out. Some people just choose their own isolation, their solitude. But it's like you're coming out of your shell, generally just being yourself. You're not having to force anything here, and people are accepting you. It's like even the haters are accepting the fact that you're the one or you're good. It's like, damn, I don't like them, but they're good, you know. So people are generally giving you a credit. They're giving you flowers. So some of you could be like florists, you sell flowers. Some of you could be like people who work with like weddings, maybe like make jewelry, or you dresses, or you give flowers. Like maybe some of you like deco, you do deco. Maybe you're a wedding a wedding organizer, project management. Okay, but people, whatever field you're in, guys, this has to do with working with people. But you're independent in terms of the fact that you're a lead, or people know you have the right stuff, you have the right ideas, you have the right tools, so even if you're a lawyer, people know you're the lawyer to choose, because you're the lawyer who knows what to do, right? Or you're the agent, whether you're a sales agent, whether you're doing recruitment, whether you're someone who, you know, works in real estate, or you're selling, you know, could be also someone selling houses and stuff like that. But it's like people know you're the real deal. Okay, you could be a psychic, you could be someone like, you know, psychic in terms of like maybe you make crystals, or you make dream catchers, or, you know, whatever it is that, you know, brings about that energy of being a psychic. It's like if for example, it's an example, so if you're a psychic, you're someone who's now attracting people that are interested in psychic abilities, but interested in the tools that you have to offer. So people are finding you and you're finding them in perfect alignment to say that the customers that are needed for the idea or this project, even if it stands out, if it's different, or you thought that it wouldn't work out, it's like finally people are seeing it. So all it was about was a matter of timing. It was never about the fact that it was never going to happen. It was just a matter of a different win from what you thought it was. Do you get what I'm saying? And then the next card, we have 3 of arrows, which in this image we have, I forgot what that animal is by name, but it reminds me a little bit of Taurus, or a little bit of like the bull. This could also be like you're maybe stubborn, and representing a very stubborn energy. You could be stubborn, or someone else could have been stubborn in a situation. But this reminds me of a quote that says the universe falls with a stubborn heart. So people who refuse to give up. So I feel like this could be maybe more about that you are someone who refuses to give up. Okay, this is what makes you glow so loudly, is the fact that people know that you could start from scratch and you'll be fine with that. You know, you could go through a tough time and you'll still rise above the situation, you know. And that's why I say your battles are silent. You move privately, you move silently, but your wins are very loud, and you don't have to say anything. People just see it. Okay, as much as maybe your downfalls were loud, it's like your wins are louder now. So your wins are very, very loud now, you know. So I feel like if maybe some of you dealt with a situation where maybe in the past you dealt with like a partner that you separated from, or whether they were at fault or you were at fault, or this could be a situation where maybe there was a third party, maybe there was a parent that was overpowering this relationship, or was trying to get in between, trying to control the situation. Could be maybe even a sibling, could be even an ex, okay, could be anything, a new person, a third party situation, could even be the job coming in between you and this person. But there could have been a situation that was coming in between you, that was almost separating this connection, okay, or someone else intentionally trying to separate a romantic situation. And I think I did speak about how if it was a no kind of situation where you guys rejected each other, and then it's like maybe this time around for some of you, if you've changed and this person has changed, it's almost like you guys are finding some sort of alignment. So you guys are now catching up on how much growth you've went through, and you realize that you guys have went through the right amount of growth and you guys are on the same page now. So sometimes they say you meet the right person at the wrong time, right? So maybe it could have been just a wrong time thing. So you guys are now realigning at the right time. It happens. Second chances happen. Some people it goes right, some people it doesn't. So you'll see how it fits. But some situations are generally how we spoke about secrets coming out. So if you're in a relationship or situation where someone is trying to separate you from a soulmate or a twin flame, this person is being exposed for that, whether to you or your partner or people who witnessed or who chose a side in some sort of way. But it's like you're getting to see things more clearly. People are getting to see things more clearly. Even them, they're getting to see things more clearly about themselves, where they, like I said, taking accountability for the fact that, oh damn, I was actually wrong. I was actually a bad person or a terrible person to this person. That kind of situation, okay? So some of you, maybe this is someone, if it's someone from the past, maybe it's someone that you knew when you were younger, in your youth. Maybe you are now meeting later if you guys are much older, but some of you, maybe you are both just generally in your youth or a different age gap, okay? But there's like a bit of an age gap. Could be like a difference of like 1 to 8 years, okay? So for some of you, you're like really stubborn with your heart. So you're learning to heal from the situation. I think we spoke about the green, how you've worked on your heart chakra, okay? And how in one of the pictures with the harmony, the lady had the star in between her chest, so to show that her heart is at peace about a situation. So here I do feel that something that may have pierced your heart before is something that you've been healing, that has improved, okay? And in this image, you see that you are no longer having your weapon up because you're holding your weapons on your side. So you're no longer in fight mode, okay? You're resting, or you're breathing, or you're calm, okay? And you are basically supported and surrounded, because you see there's a figure there, a female figure, which is having music and a star in her hand and a star on her forehead as well. So it's almost like some of you maybe are musicians, or you specifically play that instrument that's in the picture, okay? Some of you, the shaker, I forgot what the name is, but some of you are into maybe traditional music, like African traditional music. We maybe play drums and shakers and that kind of thing, okay? Some of you are people that are ancestral. You believe in ancestors, okay? And you have maybe a female figure coming in to speak to you or share some kind of guidance with you, okay? Some of you are healers in the field of maybe you helping women. Maybe some of you, like for example, if you're helping people with the heart, maybe you're like a heart surgeon, right? Like literally you work with the heart. But some of you could be like your therapist for like couple therapy and stuff like that, which is general therapy, right? Some of you are in a situation where the kind of music you made is therapeutic to people. So maybe it's like romantic, or it speaks about stories that people relate to, and it's very healing to people, right? Some of you could be like healers that are helping like women. You're helping womb healing, fertility healing, maybe Reiki healing, or whatever it may be. But you could be maybe specializing in the field of females. So some of you could be like feminine kind of field. I think I spoke about beauty and all that, but this could be just generally working with the physical, the mental, the emotional, in every different aspects, okay? So the reading doesn't have to tie to women. I mean, some of you could be females watching this. Some of you, this reading could be relating to a female, whether it is someone that is angelic to you on the other side, or whether it is about someone who is relating to you personally in this reading in any other way, okay? But it doesn't have to be translated to one gender. I mean, you could be also a man relating to this in your own way, okay? But this is just generally showing that there's a lot of improvement emotionally, because the feminine side as well is just the emotional side of you, the intuitive side of you, even your natural psychic ability, because we're actually all psychic, by the way. We all have the natural ability to be psychic. in some shape or form. And I see you being in touch with your inner self, your spiritual wisdom. You're feeling a lot more free. Okay, there's a lot of freedom here. There's a lot of self-acceptance. There's a lot of love for yourself. You've really improved internally here, and I feel like your glow up more than anything is a lot of you, is a lot of ownership that you've taken, accountability, the independence you've worked for, the self-love, the healing that you've worked on. This is showing so much of your power and your confidence in literally everything you're doing, no matter what you touch. Okay, it doesn't matter what you're doing in terms of work or career, or whether you are even not working, you're unemployed, and you're just, trying to push some sort of hustle or whatever it may be. It's like people are actually starting to see that there's so much potential, and you're working towards that potential, okay? So some of you could be generally like celebrating, going to like an event, going to some place that has music. Could be you performing, or watching a performance, okay? But there's something relating to sound and music and celebration and dancing, and or you don't even have to dance, but it's like even singing along, okay? Maybe some could be doing karaoke, or some of you could be actual musicians or working in the music industry in some shape or form, okay? Or general media here, because I feel like a lot of the energy here is creative. So creatives in whatever field, but also could be specifying that the field of media, okay? Some of you could be just generally receiving a lot of communication through music. So maybe your angels are trying to communicate to you using sound. Maybe you hear your name randomly, or you hear the right messages through random strangers when they have conversations, or you get the right advice from someone. Maybe you listen to a recording or podcast or a reading, or whatever it may be, okay? But you find yourself hearing the right quotes or the right words, or you just receive the right trigger, okay, to get you to where you need to be, okay? So you're starting to understand the love language between you and your higher power, understanding how the signs come about your path, and I think you're listening a lot more clearly now, okay? That's why you're able to do what you need to do more smoothly, with more harmony. And I also feel like there's a lot of protection around you here. You're highly surrounded by a very powerful energy of protection here. Not only is your heart protected, but just your well-being altogether, okay? You're being stood up for here in terms of defense. If, like I said, you were in a situation where you were not at fault, or it was a situation where there was misinformation, or differences, or you got just caught up in the mess, okay? But here it's like you're being protected, shielded, hidden. You're being surrounded here, okay? In protection of whatever the situation was that may have harmed you or was attempting to harm you. And it doesn't have to necessarily mean like actual harm. It can literally just mean something that was trying to reduce your energy. So something that made you feel negative, something that affected you negatively, maybe something that was just lowering your vibration, okay? And that's not where you aim to be. So you're starting to notice, and you're learning how to be more consistent in your own energy, and not necessarily like letting things outside of you affect you so easily. So I'm seeing that you're learning to say no or reject things that do not play positively, so you're not letting it take so much power over you anymore. I see that a lot of guides that are around you are celebrating you. So something here, there's great achievement, there's definitely that feedback. So you're going to be celebrating that feedback, and you will be celebrated here, okay? And then the next card is Eight of Cups. So there's a lot of eights here as well. So please notice the repetitive numbers, okay? And here we have, basically, when you look at the picture, there's a lot of confidence on this lady. This lady has She's standing up straight, okay? Almost makes me think of like pageants or model or someone who's very classy, okay? Very modest, very bold, okay? But they're very calm. You see what they're not loud, okay? They're not exaggerated. And this is your natural element, but you stand out. You know, you're very unique. And it's just how you do things. And I feel like even with the cups that you see building up to 8 of them, it's almost like you have the strategy, you have the solution, you have this mindset that is able to think and say, okay, if I put 3 at the bottom and put 2 after each other until I have 1 at the top, then this would make my foundation stable. So people are like, wow, how did you come about that concept? So people are looking at you, and if you see the independence in the picture, it's like it's just you, right? You were able to set up these cups so perfectly, and wow. So these pictures are pretty much just emphasizing everything was spoken about, and I feel like I've pretty much emphasized most of what is said. So the glow up here, a lot of you, regardless of the field you're in, whatever chapter of your life you're dealing with right now, is knowing that you being alone is actually being a superpower. So not exactly, it doesn't necessarily mean like you standing alone all the time. I mean, we're on this planet so we can be together as a human race for a reason, right? But this is almost like when it's time for you to be alone. When it's time for you to be alone, this is protection. Okay? When it's time for you to be alone, you're almost like doing things a lot more faster. Because in all the pictures, if you notice, you're literally standing alone. Okay? So a lot of you independence, a lot of you pushing things by yourself and just having you and God by your side, your higher power, your guides, your angels, right? Your ancestors. Having your supportive system by your side is more than enough, okay? So you may have maybe those 2-3 people in your life that support you, and it's like you don't need to have a big crowd to approve or to affirm you or to validate you, okay? If anything, you are much quicker if there's less people hanging on you, okay? It's almost like you make it much more faster when it's just you. Maybe, like I said, in the past, it might have taken longer, okay? There was a reason for that. There were lessons to be learned. But I see that there's much more ease here. And if you look at the picture of 8 of Cups, it's empty around there, right? It's almost like you've reached the peak of the mountain, because there's a mountain there behind her. But it's like you are not scared that you might have to go through this mountain alone. You're not so afraid like you used to be before. You're becoming more fearless. You're becoming more confident. There's a lot more courage, okay? But you know that you're protected in the process, and that's why you are fearless. So there's a lot of protection over your money, over your foundation, over what you own, over your energy, over your heart, okay? So whatever you hold value, there's more value being added to it. So everything that you hold close to your heart is holding you closer to its heart. If it's people, the people that love you even more. People that support you even more. Okay, your foundation is expanding, it's growing, but it's all the right people, right place, right time. So I do see that your glow up is basically you becoming unstoppable. Okay, the only thing that can be in your way at this point is yourself. But nothing can stop you from, getting the things you desire, getting to where you desire to be, seeing yourself in the spaces that you want to be. And I think you're allowed to dream big and just allow yourself without being scared this time. Maybe before you were scared that you'd be sabotaged, or you'd lose the things you love, the things you work hard for. You feel like you're always gonna have to start from scratch, or you're always gonna lose people, you're always gonna be taken advantage of, or you won't be seen or be rejected, whatever it may be that happened in the past, because it may have caused you to start rejecting a lot. You may have not done things because of fear. You've decided to say no to a lot of things because you were scared, So you may have been in a situation where this caused you trauma, but you're coming out of that, and you coming out of that, there's so much beauty that is coming with it. There's so much progress and so much growth in terms of your life altogether. So you are looking beautiful. You're even trying new colors, new clothes. There's yellow, green, black, the outfits, right? It's like you're always changing looks, you're changing hair, whether it's weaves or wigs, or just generally trying your styles, okay? Whether it's growing your natural hair, it's really up to you. But it's like here, some of you have really, really long hair, okay? You love your long hair, okay? Some of you are nudists. Maybe you really enjoy being naked and just, being comfortable in your own skin, in your own clothes. So green represents heart chakra and yellow represents solar plexus chakra. Some of you could even enjoy putting things on your hair, like dukes, covering your hair with like head wraps, maybe crowns, hair bands, maybe you wear crystals on your hair, or you do like different things that like flowers, things like that, but you like decorating your look, okay, and it makes you stand out. So you're no longer compromising things that are important to you. I think you do realize that you've compromised more than enough if you were someone who always gave people the benefit of the doubt, or you always extended yourself more than you should, okay? And maybe if you were the opposite, you were someone who maybe didn't compromise enough in a relationship or connection or situations. You're realizing the things that you need to compromise in. For example, even for yourself, to be able to achieve certain goals, you have to compromise maybe certain habits, okay, a certain perspective to get to where you want to be. So this is just a situation where you're learning that the things that need to be compromised and the things that you can't compromise to achieve a certain level of success. And I do that things are really improving for you, things are changing, but in a positive way. There's going to be more successful results, whether it's in your romantic field, whether it's with relationships, new or old connections, up to you. But success with ownership here, with accountability, with apologies. It's almost like everything that was heavy on your chest, there's so much relief. Like there's a big sigh that is going to come from your chest, okay? So I think it's safe to say your glow up is you finally feeling safe to be yourself, and feeling safe to go out there in the world and show the world who you were made to be and who you want to be. As much as the higher power can say this is your destiny, you still have choice to choose it, right? It is your choice to choose your destiny as much as it was chosen for you. For some of you, you may be working a job that requires you to wear a uniform, okay? So you might be in law, you might be in the police firm, you might be someone who's working with like flight attendant, you might be someone who works in retail, someone who just generally works at a place that wears a specific uniform, okay? For some of you, you're attending formal events, you're wearing suits, you're wearing formal wear. Some of you are attending weddings, some of you are just attending important business meetings, okay, or just occasions that are quite formal, okay. Some of you could have like a piece of jewelry that you really value, that you never take off, or you always like wearing it. It could be like a gold chain, it could be like a gold crystal, or Some people I'm seeing like there's a necklace that has like a picture inside, the one that locks, right, where you're able to put a picture of someone inside and open it. It was very ancient. So if you have that, maybe you got that from someone that you really value. This could have been someone that passed on or someone that is still very well and alive. But some of you could be receiving a gift as well from someone really close to you, or even if it's a stranger, really, because we do get gifts from strangers randomly sometimes, because we don't realize how much we inspire people just by looking at us, you know. So for some of you, you're receiving gifts. Could be flowers, could be jewelry, could be fruit baskets, could be anything, okay? Could be a clothing, could be pretty much anything that you love, that they know that you love, or something that you need at that particular time, even if it's just random and intuitive. Some of you, you're being highly guided by someone who did pass on. Maybe if you're thinking about them, someone that had crossed over, or you're just sensing the energy, like you're having random goosebumps, chills now and then, you know, or you're having a lot of dreams about them, even if it's someone you hadn't had dreams about before and now suddenly it's happening. This is also showing your level of awakening. It's almost like you've opened up to listen. It's almost like you've opened up to hear things that you didn't hear before, or to see things that you didn't see before, okay? So maybe you've just changed your belief systems. For example, if you didn't believe in paranormal activity before, now you do. Maybe because it's happened quite more often to a point where you had to notice it, okay? But this doesn't have to be like bad paranormal, okay? But just noticing energies around you. Some of you, you're generally learning how to pick up energy or pick up on how people feel, okay? Some of you could really work in like a really tall white building, okay? Or you live in a white house, or you're traveling to a space that has a white building, okay? You may be painting your place, like renovating and painting the space into like new color. Some of you could be people who like collect rocks and stones. Some of you are traveling to a deserted place, maybe like one of the African countries, okay? Some of you are traveling to places with lots of mountains, whether you live around there, or you're traveling there, or you work around an area like that. Some of you could be people who do like night shift, okay? Maybe you do night shift in terms of work. Some of you could be people that offer services that are available maybe 24/7, okay? For some reason, I'm hearing that somebody likes watching the sunset or the sunrise. Some of the chakras here, looking at the cards as a collective, the chakras that are highlighted are heart chakra with green, and we have sacral chakra with orange, root chakra with red, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra with yellow, and third eye chakra with purple. I see that for some people as well, the crown chakra might be very significant, since we did speak a lot about the hair. But generally, I do see that you're starting to do a lot of things that you love and enjoy, okay? Maybe things that you've been waiting to follow your dreams or follow your passion, or just visit a certain place, you know, travel to a certain place, be with a certain person, you know, have a certain lifestyle, being able to buy certain things, just having a sense of contentment or a sense of comfort, being able to buy the things you want to buy when you want to buy them. You don't have to be rich, you know, but things are improving for you in so many ways. And Some of you, it may be like a romantic situation improving, maybe because you were single for a long time, you kind of lost hope or lost faith, but there's improvement in terms of how you perceive romance and how you receive romance, and the people that you attract into your energy are a whole lot different from the past. So I'm seeing that maybe you're going to meet someone who gives you a different narrative of what romance really is, who's going to bring something valuable to the table. Someone who is willing to compromise things that need to be compromised, okay, in order to meet you halfway. But there's a lot of success here in your cards, and due to the fact that you've grown a lot of inner strength, you're very strong in terms of your mindset, and I think emotionally you've improved. Maybe you're not as impulsive, and you're generally making decisions using the wisdom that you've gained along the way, the knowledge that you've gained along the way. And some of you are moving out, or you're moving generally, like relocating because of work, because of this feedback. Because if you've been waiting for an email, been waiting for an SMS or a call, or whatever this message is that is meant to approve or meant to reassure you about something, right? It's like things are going to move because of this, or you're going to move out because of this. You're going to be able to have access or the resources to do this. Some of you could be starting training very soon, okay? T was one of the letters that came out, and Chi is training. Treasure, okay, so it could be just words that you see quite often, or words that you think of randomly, that are highlighted, that are relating to this letter, okay? But training and treasure, so it's almost like you're being trained to, it's almost like you're being prepared, okay, for this treasure, for this gem, okay? Some of you, I'm hearing that you're being seen as the treasure or as the gem, right? Some of your name could be treasure, or it could represent some kind of fortune or treasure, okay? But for this pile, I see you being complete. I see you completing something important here. A very important cycle has ended for something beautiful to happen. And this is also a representation of certain manifestations being complete, being finalized. Okay, the seasons that also may be a big highlight, like the specific timelines, maybe the Virgo season, which is between the 23rd of August to the 22nd of September, and also Scorpio, which is between 23rd, 24th October to the 21st of November. So this may be a specific timeline for many of you that will have certain things that we've mentioned occur, or it could be just generally representing your birthday. But I think this is going to probably be the timeline where most people are going to, this time of the year, or whenever you're watching this reading, when you get to that period of time in your life, you're going to realize how much your life has changed and how much your life has improved. Remember that the numbers can symbolize your date for your birthday, or any particular date referring to your experience. It may also represent anyone close to you that is mentioned in the reading. The numbers may also represent your life path number. A repetition of numbers can represent angel numbers. These may also represent your age. These numbers can also represent the month or a timeline specifying the amount of days, weeks, months. The numbers may also represent a time that you see quite often when you look at your clock, repetitive numbers that show up frequently around you, randomly or intentionally. The colors may represent colors that you see often around you as symbolism. The colors may also represent your chakras. These may also represent your favorite color. The letters that show up in the reading are going to represent either your names or your surname. It may also represent anyone relating to you in the reading that is mentioned. The letters may also represent the location you are at or anywhere that you may be traveling. It may represent the country, the continent, the city, the town, maybe even the street. The letters may also represent a name of a company or any place where you work. Star signs can relate to the season when whatever situation that was mentioned may occur, or this could be your star sign or your partner's star sign, okay? It could be family, it could be friendship, could be anyone on the job, or just generally season when something began or when you met someone. Sometimes it can also refer to the current experience or future references that are possible to happen. Pile number 2. So the first card that we have is K, the King. Okay. You could be a male, or this reading could relate to someone close to you that is a male. And you can see the picture. It says drugs and alcohol slowly destroy your mind. Okay, so this card will represent a shadow side of you that you've overcome, okay, to basically glow up. Okay, so so with this pile, I see that most of you have overcome a very tough, like really hard time, and not just any hard time. This is more of like somebody could have literally overcome trauma. Okay, this is someone who could have overcome trauma. This could have been trauma when you were young, okay, trauma with someone that, were in a relationship with, could be a male, or you could be a male, relating to this experience, okay. Some of you could have had a traumatic experience, even in your adulthood, but in different spaces that you held very highly, that you put on the pedestal and found yourself really disappointed because of the situations that you may have ended in. So maybe you remember certain memories as really tough and hard. Okay, having to feel like you're God's strongest warrior, something like that, But I feel like this may have really affected your mental health. And I think with this pile, your glow up is representing also how you speak to yourself. So this is more, maybe you have a lot of anxiety, or someone who could have overcome depression and anxiety or you were said to have some sort of disability maybe, or you have someone related to you that has some sort of disability, and you've been someone supportive growing up with this person or being around this person, but it was tough on you. You could have watched someone else struggle in your life, and just watching them go through it and having to support them through it was a tough time for you. Okay, so it could be in any version of your story in how you've had your life experiences, but it's like maybe you went through experiences that may have tried to toughen up your heart, put up your guard, or had a lot of anger in situations or resentment. Okay, so your glow up could relate to the situation where your challenge was to forgive a lot of your past, a lot of things that you didn't deserve, or a lot of things that that you also maybe have put people through that they also didn't deserve. So maybe you realize that you were bleeding on people. that you're going through a lot of pain because pain was caused. What do they say? Hurt people, right? People who are hurt, going through a lot of pain, tend to, project that on others. We are human, we do that. So I think you went through an experience where you're having to realize a lot of how you've contributed to your own suffering. Wow, this is interesting. Okay, so that's kind of like what I'm channeling here. So it's like maybe a lot of negative self-talk is what would destroy your mind more than what would someone else do to destroy your mind, like outside of you. Okay, so some people maybe could have really went through a really, really tough time. Some of you maybe have went to situations where you had to go see a psychiatric, you had to get therapy, okay, go to rehabilitation, go to a space where, cleanse or get some sort of help, assistance, fasting, you could be in a situation where you were really depressive and maybe you're having suicidal thoughts and you're going through so much pain, or you went through an experience where you witnessed that, or someone who went through that kind of pain, and this is a cycle that you want to break, and you are taking the steps towards breaking this cycle, okay? And your glow up, is really overcoming I think what might feel like a generational curse, or feel like it's a karmic debt, okay? It might feel like, oh, is this bad luck? And why am I attracting, for example, like somebody might feel like, why do I attract a certain kind of men? Why do I attract manipulative kind of men? Why do I attract abusive men? Why do I attract, stingy men? Because you might find somebody, even female, who is willing to provide a certain way but not willing to provide another way. So maybe they are financially, giving and, well off in a relationship, but emotionally they're not available. Others may be emotionally available, but financially they broke, or they're not able to provide everything you would desire financially. So it's a really tricky situation, I think, depending on what kind of relationship you're in, or the situation you guys are experiencing in your partnership, whether it is with friendship, or a personal romantic relationship, or even, family. But it's like, maybe it's just the position you guys are in. You guys are just in different spaces, okay? So you are trying to conquer and overcome a lot of your own struggles, okay? And I think some of you could have been like really single for a long time, or some of you could have been like single moms, single parents, single dads, okay? Some of you could have been in a situation where you could have been like widow. You're a widow where you lost someone that you love, okay, and you had to raise children, or deal with the pain of losing someone you love, okay? Or you could have lost a parent, maybe a father, a king here, a male. You could have dealt with the loss of a father, or a brother, or a son, or any masculine figure, okay? This does not have to relate to someone passing on, but it can relate to general life experience where maybe you're not very close. So maybe some of you are a parent, but you don't have so much access to your child as a father or as a mother, or whatever the situation may be, right? So some of you are looking at the situation, maybe this is a situation that really tested your patience, tested your anger, your emotions, right? And I think it tested your aggression, your passive aggressiveness or something, or you felt like maybe it was testing you and trying to take out the bad side of you in some shape or form. Or you were losing control of a lot of your anger or a lot of your emotions in certain things that may have just happened in the past. It doesn't necessarily have to be things that are happening now or, recent. It can be just things that you're struggling to really let go. Okay, you're struggling to release a lot of. So you could be afraid of getting into your relationship because you're afraid of the past type of situation, right? That's the typical example, right? But I feel like some of you could be just dealing with realizing that there's a lot of personal development, or there's a lot of yourself, like your wounds, like things that you never realized were affecting you in relationships, or things were affecting your job or your perspective of your reality in some sort of way. Okay, so some of you could have really had a lot of masculine energy because you were surviving. You had to, put in a lot of work and put in action and, make means work and, make a plan, no matter what happens, provide, whether you're a female or a male, but you had to focus on a specific you didn't always get a chance to maybe balance your masculine and feminine, or to fully be in your feminine energy, or whatever it may be, but it's like you had to be in your masculine energy. Maybe you had to raise yourself as a child. You had to, raise your siblings as a child. You had to grow up quickly. You learned certain things too early. They had some kind of effect, some kind of trauma. You could have had situations that affected you mentally and emotionally, and over time you realize, oh, this kind of shifted my perspective or my mentality in some sort of way, and you're changing that. Okay, so it's overcoming. It's almost like here you're being seen as, wow, somebody who basically works amazing with brains. Okay, it's like you're amazing with your mind is amazing, your brain is amazing. It's like the things you've overcome or the things you're overcoming, right? Maybe you could be like a genius gone mad. Right, you could be like a genius gone crazy. And I think you may have always focused on mastering certain things in your life, but always forgot to master the rest of the other things in your life, right? You could have always mastered the money, mastered the career, mastered, everything else, the job, the car, the house, but maybe you're really struggling with relationships. Maybe you have mastered other things relationship-wise, but maybe in your relationship you guys are kind of figuring out finances. Some of you could have been, got the kid, you have the cars, you have the house, you have the money, you have the career, you have, certain things, you're well off, you're privileged, whatever it may be, but maybe you're struggling to have kids. Your guys are trying to balance that out, trying to make means, okay, to create a family in a way that balances for you guys to grow, right? So some of you are basically, because maybe in the past you could have been divorced already, or if you're much older you could have been through multiple divorces, no judgments, but some of you could be that maybe you were just afraid to get married. You never got married. You didn't really choose marriage, okay, for yourself. You chose independence, and you were really you felt like you wanted to be alone, or you were okay alone because most of the things you had to do alone. Okay, so see how you relate, guys. But this is the energy I'm picking up. Okay, some of you could be realizing that you're pushing a lot of your potential. Okay, so you might be really great at certain things, like I said, but you're pushing away your potential by not focusing on certain other things that you need to focus on, or that you need to be as good at as much as other things. So if you're not emotionally available, you have to work on that. If you know that you're not very good with controlling your anger, you have to get help, get some kind of anger management, get therapy, or advice outside of your friendship or your relationship, or even outside of your peers, your family. outside of even if it's your children, maybe you're much older, you have older kids, but there are things that maybe you need to hear, and you may have not always been ready to hear. You may have not always been ready to hear the reality, right, of certain things, because of certain perspectives, okay? But it doesn't mean that you were doing everything wrong. It just means you put other things on hold while you were pursuing other things, but you didn't realize that they were just as important, right? So you might find yourself in a situation where you're struggling to build connections with people because you've put yourself in a position where you obsessed over the idea that you are alone, okay? I don't know, maybe some of you relate to this in some shape or form, okay? Or maybe some of you are struggling with someone in your life where they feel this way, okay? Maybe they have a lot of that masculine energy. Maybe when they go through something, they're very silent and they don't share much of themselves. So a lot of secrets, or they tend to disappear, okay? Maybe it's a lot of isolation, okay, where maybe for example, maybe some other people would cope with medication or alcohol or other things, okay? Others cope with food, others cope with coffee, others cope with etc. So someone could have been conquering a situation where they had to realize that there's nothing wrong with taking a certain substance, but you realize when you get to a point where you do a little too much of something, okay? Because they always say too much of something is bad, right? And we all go through situations where we stress out and we go through a lot. So we need something that relieves us or gives us some sort of calmness or relaxation. So everybody has something, they find comfort in some shape or form. There's no judgment, right? But it's almost like you just having this space where you're having that realization that, oh, okay, I need to just cut down a bit. I don't have to judge myself and be like, there's something wrong with what I'm doing. It just means that I just need to kind of like reduce how much I do it, balance it out so that it doesn't destroy me, so that I don't find myself in a situation where I realize that, it's a little too late. So you having those conversations with yourself, right? So this is what I'm channeling here. So, okay. So it's kind of like how you're on a diet as a person, or you have a certain way of doing things, like how you manage your body or how you manage your health, or, your routine, and what you put in your body, like what you drink or what you eat or all that. And some of you, maybe you're just having like a cheat day, right? So it's how you would normally set a routine and say, okay, cheat days are here, or this is how much I do of something, this is how much coffee I drink, or this is how much water I need to drink as well. So it's almost like having to create a balance, okay, instead of just indulging in one thing more than the other, because we know that even when you drink too much water, it's bad. Right? So even when you drink too much water, it's bad. So it's kind of like getting on a schedule. It's like, okay, even when I'm trying to be healthy, even when I'm trying to be this, even when I'm trying to do that, let me try not to lose too much weight. Let me try not to, deprive myself too much. Or let me not, it's almost like don't put yourself in a position where you deprive yourself the space to learn or the space to be adaptable. I hope you understand. It's almost like the space to be adaptable and the space to learn, okay? Or it's almost like mutation. I keep hearing mutation. It's almost like your body is changing so it can accommodate this new environment, to this, new thing that you love eating, okay? So I think there's no judgment in the situation, but it's just you just having certain realizations that, maybe I'm a little too pessimistic. Maybe I focus a little too much on negative things, and I need to change the way that I see things or the way that I speak. I need to change the way that I express my words, even though I'm trying to express my feelings. I know that I'm frustrated, I know that I'm feeling like this, but I need to change the way that I express, because maybe it hurts other people. Because you realize that, yes, I'm hurt, but me hurting other people is not helping me, or some of you are just realizing that putting yourself in spaces where people are, projecting a lot of negative energy around you, or, people are, trying to project that on you. You're not allowing the negativity to kind of like pull you down. So you don't want that vibration anymore. Okay, so it's almost like a lot of things revolved around making you feel like you are less than. Okay, so for example, if you did something to prove people wrong, or you're in a space where you work so hard to achieve, where you are, there's no judgment of certain things that you're not doing perfectly. Okay, there's no judgment of any of that, but I think it's just to say, leave space to improve. Yes, you've mastered a lot, but then leave space to improve. Criticism is not bad. Okay. There are spaces where you learn a lot about yourself, even your shadows. You learn that you have light and darkness yourself, and sometimes one or the other overpowers, and you have to have self-awareness to realize which position you are in at that time. That, am I the one expressing negativity? Am I the one expressing light in this point in time, when I'm directing my emotions, when I'm directing my opinions and, my mental space, my psychology, So some of you could be people that also work with people that actually struggle a lot with, what I have mentioned so far. People who've struggled. So for example, you could be like a therapist, you could be someone working at in a field of medicine, but you may be someone who basically helps people. Okay, you could be like a brain surgeon. That's interesting. I think that's the first time I've actually said that out loud. But you could work with brains, or your career works with the mind. Okay, right? So for example, if you do tech, you work with maybe AI, and you're developing some really, really, I don't know, crazy genius mind development kind of situation. Okay, memory storing, that kind of interest. So that's an example, right? So I think some of you, maybe you're trying to figure out also a better way of evolving. So maybe your mission is to find a better way to evolve a situation, right? You could be coming with ideas to maybe create a better environment for AI, and a better space for humans, for us as people to feel comfortable enough to explore AI. Okay, so I think finding less harmful ways to explore AI, and also not indulging too much in the idea of living our reality, with AI, as much as a lot of things actually involve AI now. But I think it's just limiting yourself, knowing yourself, and saying, okay, it's like small things, guys. Okay. I know sometimes I make examples of big things, but I know you guys have big dreams and you have big minds. Okay, but some of it could be really genuine small things, guys. It's it could be situations where you just take a break from your phone. AI is your phone. So you take a break from the tech, which is your phone, your laptop, whatever. You just relax, read a book or something. So some of you, what you feel like this slowly destroying your mind, it's just to say that maybe you're just tired, you're exhausted, okay, you absolutely drained, okay, you just need sleep, your mind is tired, okay, you're overworked, or you've just processed a lot of information. You process a lot of information in a day, you kind of get home and you're tired, so it's just you need rest. Some of you could be feeling this way, or you felt this way for quite some time. So some of you generally stress, but your face is not entirely relaxed. So it's like this shadow side of you is having to learn how to smile as well, learning how to not allow anger to overpower you, or not letting the negative things of life or the negative side of life to define, your character, your well-being, your personality, the choices that you make, okay? Some of you could be genuinely dealing with like self-sabotage, okay? And you're learning to let that go. You're learning to basically stopping your old tactics of making choices that land you in a situation where you're alone. Even if it's ghosting, guys, sometimes ghosting is a bad thing, sometimes, always saying, I'm willing to cut people off and stuff like that. It can be bad because you end up alone. And what do you think is going to happen if, you end up on a planet full of like 10 billion, whatever, gazillion, plus, 7 to who knows how many billions of people in the world, right? And you choose to be alone, like, I'm pretty sure you're made for a bigger purpose, so there's no need for us to always choose to be alone. Yes, you can have solitude. Yes, you can have your space. Yes, you can, have your privacy, live your life privately, whatever it may be, but you don't have to cut people off all the time. You don't have to always be alone, and it doesn't become a situation where it's sympathetic, because now it's continuous choice. It's not always now a situation where you're a victim. It's a situation where it's more of a choice, okay? Because self-awareness is brought to us through repetitive experiences. So if an experience continually comes back to you, it's showing you something important. So you choose to see it. And that's how lessons work. The universe throws experiences at you, and you choose to see. You choose to awaken to the lesson at that time, right? But I know the universe is crazy. It always gives us signs in the weirdest ways. So this has been a tough one, okay? This has been a tough one for you. But I feel like you're finally cracking the code, or you're finally getting the help that you need, okay? Meeting the right people who can actually assist you, with the right methods, okay, to go about getting your goal. All right. Okay, so the next card is number 6, Golden Rules. Okay, so I see paperwork here. I see also you mostly, it says she file. Do not work without approved she file with authorization limitation. So here, the vision that I'm seeing here is almost like you're promising yourself to no longer sabotage or no longer neglect, okay? It's actually crazy. As I'm recording this, the time on my clock is 5:55. Okay, so interesting, because the pile actually, wow. So this pile, it means that 555 is truly important to you. Okay, but the card is number 6. All right, but 5-6, so maybe you see a lot of 5-6, 6-5 numbers, or 5-5-6. The time on the clock is actually 5-5. 56. Okay, so maybe you see a lot of that as well, okay, since we also talk about time and synchronicities. So some of you could be really attentive with the numbers. But yeah, you could be like making a promise to yourself to never do something again, or to never be a certain way again, or to like let go of something that doesn't serve you, okay? Okay, so some of you could be basically signing a contract that maybe confirms an agreement about something, a promise, or some sort of fairness to a situation that is based on some kind of rules, okay? So it says do not work without. So it says this is a situation where you have to kind of like include all the documentation, all the research, all the right basics, right, of what is needed for you to be able to get something in return in terms of like legal work, right? So I do see that some of you here are going to be glowing up because of how you handle a situation due to this. So maybe this really was a frustrating process that required a lot of patience. Maybe you had to go up and down, spend a lot of money on this, or you had to just generally, don't have to really be about you spending money so much, but it can be just like your time and energy, okay? Your mental state, your mental health type situation. So it could have taken something out of you, okay? But I do see here that this is a rule that is going to apply in your favor, okay? And maybe some of you haven't been working, the whole do not, maybe it's like you didn't work because of an unfair situation, or you did work but you were treated unfairly somehow, or some of you have just been in a situation where you haven't had work in a long time, okay? This could be a gap of like 6 months or 6 years. You've been kind of like maybe struggling with a certain career, like it's been on and off, okay? Maybe like temporary kind of contracts. You're looking for something permanent, like you want to step forward with growth. And I'm seeing that something here that has held you back, that has not allowed you to be in a position to work or make the finances that you would like to have, in terms of like your milestones and your goals. I do see like those milestones and those goals catching up to what you've always wanted them to be, okay? So kind of like what took a process in the past years, maybe in the past 6 years, or dragged for like in the past 6 years kind of situation, is now being something progressive in the next 6 weeks or in the next 6 months, okay? That type of situation. You could be also dealing with the situation in the next couple of like days, like in the next 6 days. You could be confirming this. You could be dealing with documentation. You could be signing some paperwork, okay? As you can see, there's like a pen there, right? So you could be in a situation where whatever it is that you needed to correct, maybe if last time you had to bring some documentations and then you forgot something, or you missed a deadline, or you were told to return with more documentation kind of thing, right? Whatever the situation may be, it's like this time around you're being approved or authorized, whatever it was that limited the situation, okay, that you were trying to have as a form of success in terms of your finances, is being approved somehow, and because you're applying the rules and the rules are being applied to you, okay? And then some of you in the next, like, let's say, for example, you started a year of school, or you started a contract of like 6 months. Okay, I do see that this is something that will be progressive as time goes. So some of you, if maybe it's education, the next semester, will be a much better opportunity if you are still maybe struggling with putting money together, and you're kind of like putting yourself in a situation so that this year at least is a goal for you to say, okay, by this year I want to resolve A, B, C, and D, right? I do see that this situation by June at least will be better for somebody. Okay, so whenever you see this video, this might be an experience you're having, and when you see this video and before June or in the month of June, you realize, oh yeah, I am actually authorized now. So I do see that somebody here is going to be approved for an opportunity that will put them in a better situation. So some of you, maybe it's like correcting your credit score. Okay, some of you it's like canceling a contract that was, for example, like an account that was putting you in debt, or that was unnecessarily making you spend money. Some of you completing something that basically made you correct a certain debt. It's almost like you're spending a lot of money on it. Okay, or this could be like a house or a car, whatever it may be. Okay, but this is a situation because some people, they have to pay like loans for education as well, right? So maybe some of you, it's like you're recovering from that. So somebody here in this group, some of you here in this group, you guys are really making up for the time that you weren't allowed to have access to something important here. Files. Okay, if you didn't get your files, your paperwork, the right documentation that was meant to be given to you is finally being authorized to you based on the rules. Okay, if it's a situation where you had to like take it to people of authority, like people who have more authority, then these people of authority are helping you figure it out, or they're approving the situation and giving you the opportunity to represent yourself and say your side of the story. So yeah. And then for some people, for example, this could be like your child. Maybe your child is 6 years old, okay, finally starting school, or they are experiencing any grade, whatever age they are. It doesn't have to be 6. But being a parent, if you may be dealing with their education, you're in a situation where maybe they were struggling to be approved for something, or whatever they struggled with previously in terms of like a grade, a mark, subject, that is being fixed this time around. Okay, it's almost like they're going to excel a little better than the last time. Okay, so for someone who is experiencing maybe some complications with their child, maybe they are special, they have special needs, disabilities, or diagnosis of some sort. Okay, I feel like whatever you need approval with paperwork is being finally given to you, like certain files, they are being approved so that your child has access to what they have rights to. Okay, wow, the time is actually 3:13 on the clock, and the number on my battery is 31 as I'm recording this. So 3:13:31. Wow. Okay, so this is an angel number that I actually didn't get to write when I was channeling and I was storing information in my introduction, but take it in. 333. Okay, 1331, 1313. This could be times that you see a lot on the clock. This could be signs, okay, to give you that go ahead that, yeah, things are coming together, okay? Some of you, this could be happening between the dates of the 3rd, the 13th, and the 31st, okay, of a specific month. So for example, some of you, maybe if it's June, it's like the 3rd of June, the 13th of June, or the 31st of June, okay? So this could be any other month as well mentioned in the beginning of the video when I introduce all the signs and symbolisms, okay? But take this in if you get to hear this. This is definitely a message that resonates with one of you at least. Okay, but soak it in. Okay, it could be any date. So somebody here is going to be celebrating this glow up where your finances are coming together because you've corrected this one blockage, this one thing that you had to be patient about, this one thing that did not allow you access to something maybe you wanted to be able to do, to be in a better position financially. Okay, so hey, congratulations. The next card is number 7. It says mission. So in the previous card, we're very specific about this this pile, and how the documentation is going to be very important. So you obviously paying a lot of attention to detail, because in order to hit the dart on that mark, you really have to aim well, right? So you're in a situation where you really are achieving the goals that you've aimed for quite a long time. So this is a mission you've been working on, okay? Like we said, could be a couple of years, okay? We went from 6 to 7. So this is a situation where within the winter or within June, July, this could be a mission that will be very vivid to you, that you have accomplished something successfully here. Okay, some of you could be working in the industry of like gaming. You could be working with kids. You could be working in the arcade or gaming in some sort of way. You could be a gamer. Some of you could create games maybe. Some of you could be people that also, like, you create a mission. That's why I thought about games. It's almost like you're creating a goal for someone to achieve a certain level, right? So it's almost like you're achieving a certain level in general, in terms of what you're doing creatively. Some of you could also be working in the transportation industry generally. You could be maybe a driver. Maybe you work in the industry of working with cars, okay, or maybe scooters, motorbikes. You could be someone who likes racing cars type of situation, okay? Whatever has to do with travel and using some kind of transportation. You could be someone who works in the industry of a job that travels up and down a lot, okay? But here it's almost like you are working with accomplishing quite a lot of missions, okay? And you're quite a professional. You're very good at what you do. People know that you're good at what you do. I feel like you're highly recognized, and you are credited even like behind your back, even though people maybe don't say it to your face, or even though people try to compete or put you in a situation where you feel like, people don't appreciate me enough, right? But I do see that people actually, like, people give you credit behind your back, like, whoa, did you see that aim? Like, because everybody can actually see that you've literally hit the mark, so nobody can really deny that you're good at what you do, right? But there are situations where people just kind of like are in a situation where they kind of feel pressure or intimidated, okay? And some of it could be just naturally being yourself. You don't always notice this immediately because you're too busy being yourself. Like you're focused, right? You're focused on the mission, or somehow you're being led to be highly focused on the mission and don't mind what people say. So if maybe you are people that is you're highly bothered by what people have to say, or abantu bazuthini syndrome, the syndrome of caring what people are saying about me, what I'm doing with who and what the judgment, and there's judgments where you're given fake criticism to say, there's room to grow. There's parts of yourself where you do kind of like notice that, okay, parts of myself that people notice that I don't notice about myself. But there's also parts in your life where you really have to realize that you don't need validation for every step or every move that you make. It's okay to learn the hard way. It's okay to learn the easy way. This mission is between you and God. Your life mission, your soul mission is between you and the higher power, the divine, and people are just meant to, support you, to be a guide, to be a teacher, to be, to play different roles in your life, but nobody is there to make you do anything Nobody can force you to complete the mission. Nobody can force you to learn a lesson. Nobody can force you to accept a situation for what it truly is. Nobody can make you see the truth. You continuously choose to stay in an illusion as a person. There's times and there's a point where, yes, you're ignorant because you didn't know, and then there's a time where you know and you choose ignorance, right? So this is a situation where you realize that nobody can stop you from completing this mission. Nobody can take away your skills. Nobody can discredit your abilities. Nobody can, nobody's words or intentions have as much power to take away what is given by God or by the Most High, your God-given gift, okay? Nobody can, steal or destroy or whatever we think, okay, as a human species. We have all these different threes, whether be it magic or physical, or, it can be work related, it can be a situation where there's fights and all that. But people cannot take away the fact that, no, this person accomplishes the mission. They are amazing at what they do. I'm seeing some more numbers with this pilot. I don't know why I'm noticing a lot of numbers on my clock, okay? So the time is 3:21, which is 3:21, and my battery is 34. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the synchronicity is 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think this is highlighting a huge level of your growth, to say that you are going according to a step, a plan. Okay, we spoke about rules, right? It's almost like everything is applied according to steps 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's no way to cheat the system. There's no way to cheat the situation and say that you are not good at what you do. You get what I'm saying? So people do see the positive impact you have on people, like the positive impact you have on the company, the positive impact you have in the house, the environment that you're in, the spaces that you're in. People, even if they take out their stresses on you, or they project negatively on you, their insecurities or whatever it may be, to a certain point, there's a level where people also just kind of like reflect on themselves and they realize, okay, I can't really blame this person, because you are who you are, right? You have this positive impact, okay, with your gift or your talent or what you're really good at, okay? Obviously you know what you're good at, so take it how it resonates, okay? You constantly exceeding the expectations of what people expect out of you. People are seeing that, wow, we maybe didn't think they would make it to a certain place, to a certain level, to a certain position, or some people didn't think maybe you'd win a situation, maybe whether it's a court case or whether it's a game. If maybe some of you are in a game, there's an actual competition against you and someone, okay, it could be like, for example, for some people, if it's a sport, right? I'm thinking of darts as like sportsy or gamey kind of situation, but it's like competitive, right? So I'm seeing the energy of like almost like whatever competitive situation you may be put in because of other people's projections, or maybe because sometimes you feel the need to prove yourself, okay? You're kind of being shown that you really don't have to prove yourself, okay? Defend yourself, but don't prove yourself. And because proving yourself means also you might have to go a little out of character, So you don't want to be out of character because you're also trying to prove to yourself that you're doing better more than you're trying to prove to other people. You're not really trying to seek validation more than you're trying to seek validation within yourself. I think it's more important. It's really a harsh reality for us to accept, but we really really need to validate ourselves more so that we don't go outside trying to fill a void, okay? Because that's kind of like what makes us get in a bit of a mess and we miss the target. So you're told to focus. You're told to focus on the goals you promised yourself. You focus on the things that you promised to do and the things that you promised not to do. You're, staying healthy in terms of like your perception, okay? You're no longer also approaching situation with anger and negativity and disappointment and hateful energy or a vengeful energy. You're no longer also showing too much aggression. Maybe before you did kind of have an angry spirit or something weighing on your heart that was like, that was unfair. And I mean, you have the right to feel like that, to be angry, but maybe you really just dwelled on it for a long time and you let it eat you and you didn't realize how much it affected you. And I feel like a lot of your emotions have the ability to also affect your money, and maybe you haven't realized that, but you have the ability to positively impact with your words, for example, or your emotions or your presence, or how you guide people or how you inspire people, right? So if you project negatively, then it kind of draws away from that mission, okay? You kind of maybe lose focus and people notice, or you notice, okay? So if you feel like you're in a situation where you have to change environments to feel better, then do that. If you feel like you must reconsider a situation, do that. If you feel like you need to rest, do that. If you feel like redirect your milestones, your goals, or just extend maybe a timeline. Maybe you had a certain timeline, and because you're expanding your creativity, you're expanding your timeline, and it's okay. So I feel like some of you, it's like it's okay not to be fixed on a system, okay, that you've always used. It's okay to set missions, to set goals, to set things to look forward to, okay? Exceed your own expectations. I see you exceeding mostly your own expectations. I think if you thought you didn't qualify for something, you actually do. If you thought maybe you wouldn't be able to, you yourself, if you thought and doubted that you were capable of something, you're being proven wrong. So that's what I'm saying. It's more of a season of you proving yourself wrong than it is about you proving other people wrong. I think you have to get out of that mindset of proving people wrong, okay? You're not proving anyone wrong except yourself, okay? This is a conversation between you and God. Like I said, this is your soul mission, your life mission, and you have the arrows, you have the dart arrows, you have you have the aim that is needed, okay, to gain what you need to gain. I'm seeing that the process and how things generally are going to operate are going to be on point, okay? There's going to be a certain flow maybe before, because of this situation that kind of like dragged or delayed something, that kind of put things on hold. They kind of maybe like I said, there was a situation maybe that more was taken, or like money was taken out of you, maybe like a scam, okay, or somebody that owes you money that's supposed to pay money, that kind of situation, or you're meant to receive your taxes and you're kind of waiting on that, or your UIF or whatever, anything involving money, okay? If you're meant to discuss your finances and you're aiming to correct a situation that involves it, okay, it's almost like it will positively impact you in a way that exceeds your own expectations. Okay, for some of you, if you've been aiming to travel over the waters, like literally you're meant to travel across waters or to a place with close body of water, okay, because not everyone lives next to water, guys. The locations are not the same for everyone, but Some people have the opportunity to be next to rivers and dams and oceans and all that. Okay, so you might even have a swimming pool for that matter. So if you're relocating, maybe for example from a place where now you're buying a place or you're renting a place that has a swimming pool, right? That's an expansion. For some of you, it could be like a situation where you're moving into a home that is just next to that is in the coast, that is next to the beach type situation. You might even not be really that close, but you're in an area that is close by for you to travel and be able to experience the beach type of vibe. Okay, some of you could be deeply into like cleansing this time around. You're cleansing, you're being called to do cleansings of some sort, okay, using water or praying with water or just taking those baths, okay, those relaxing baths. But some of you, these are basically just positively impacting your life or your energy or your aura. So whatever you're doing in terms of like spirituality, maybe like praying or trying to read, even if it's redirecting your faith or redirecting how you've done things in terms of your faith, you're seeing how maybe something is positively impacting you, right? Or you're being in the right community or the right people to influence you in the right way and not maybe scam you or maybe trick you or lie or take advantage. So I'm seeing something that redirects you in terms of your faith, like you being more in touch with your faith in the way that positively impacts your money as well. Some of you could be people who are just generally succeeding with like completing a mission in terms of like filing for visas, you're traveling, like your passports, you're actually being authorized to leave. Maybe you're being said, or you can even maybe get authorization to live in a country for years. Okay, maybe you're a citizen somewhere officially because of how long you've been there. Okay, how long you've maybe been doing a certain job there. Okay, some of you are married, maybe marrying into a different country in general, like you're marrying someone or sharing some partnership or completing a mission with someone else, maybe a relationship. Okay, you're moving because of a marriage, something to do, like I said, with contract. So that is another example for some. But so take the situation how it relates. So but you're moving, this mission is being completed because you're actually moving out of an old environment or an old way of thinking, an old system into a new one. Okay, and the time as we are doing the reading is 3:33. So 333 is our biggest confirmation as well. Since we've been through the recording of this reading, a lot of threes have showed up. So I think this just confirms, because 333 is mostly about support, being supported by your guides, your spirit guides, being supported by your angels, your higher power, So based on your faith, again, as we had mentioned, that you are basically being pushed forward or guided forward to go ahead with something that is meant to actually help you complete a mission. So this year is about also you just completing certain missions maybe you've always promised yourself, things that you are meant to go back, dreams you're meant to follow, and to kind of complete a soul mission that you can feel like, oh my God, this is a calling. Okay, I cannot escape this. Right? So this is a time where whatever felt repetitive, if you felt like you were in a repetitive cycle or system in your lifetime, like you felt like, oh, why does this keep happening to me kind of vibe? Why is this always happening to me? And it's the same kind of people that are attracted, it's the same kind of jobs that are attracted, it's okay, the chaos, you keep questioning the chaos. It's almost like sometimes the destruction is actually meant to aim you right. It's meant to aim you in the right direction, help you aim the right way. Okay, so something here about building a certain mastery or certain experience that brings about exceeding expectations. So maybe you become a master because of this hiccup or this bump or this delay or something like that. So something is meant to something is meant to impact you positively, even if it felt negative. Okay, so it doesn't really matter how it felt. Might have felt good, might have felt bad, might have looked ugly, might have looked chaotic, might have looked like, a lot, it might have just been like, I'm going through a lot, but it's like, this is actually part of the contract or part of the process. You had to go through something like this, no matter what it may look like. But this is positively impacting you. How the process operated, the operation process has some kind of success. Okay. So definitely someone here is going to get good news about a situation that is going to be a stress reliever. Okay, so the glow up here is going to be because, you are happy that something has been resolved, something has been complete, something has been done, okay, in terms of your paperwork. Because of your finances improving, so you're going to relax about something here, okay. You're going to get a resolution that you have been waiting for. You have the solution to a problem that you've been dealing with for quite a long time, whether this is mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, or financial, or any other or whatever affected any area in your life. Okay, so the next card is number 28, which says the message: positive news, positive outcomes. Okay, so this is a big confirmation. I don't even think I have to specify too much on this one because it pretty much clarifies everything I've included. It clarifies that this is a message that will clear things out for you. So you are going to receive that email, that phone call, that text, or communication from whatever source you're waiting to get that communication from, even if the communication is an answer from a prayer, okay, even if it's a confirmation about like I said, paperwork. So you are going to get that information that you've been waiting for, the file. Okay, you're going to get the message that confirms that this is a positive outcome. So as you notice, the previous card, it spoke about something that impacts you positively, and this card speaks about positive news and positive outcomes. So positive is coming out a lot. So this is a big yes here. If this is a situation where you asked about something, that is this going to work out for me? Is this situation going to be approved? Is this situation going to work out for me in terms of what I'm trying to achieve? It's like, or even if you're asking that, should I redirect myself a bit and change up the way that I'm doing things? And the answer is like yes. Okay, so this is a little bit of support more than anything, because I do see that you have this desire to expand yourself, and you're being encouraged to expand yourself in a positive way. So some of you could be like seeing doves, okay, or birds or feathers that are around you quite a lot as signs. But some of you, if you're reminded of someone you love through birds or doves specifically, you're receiving that message from them. Some of you, if this is someone that comes maybe through dreams, and you notice that there's a certain bird around you after you have certain dreams, maybe this is a sign about a past loved one. Okay, these could be also like prophecies or confirmations about questions you asked in your prayers, and you're getting them through dreams, right? As confirmation that good news is coming, right? So some of you, like I said, you could be like in a body of water, because that looks like water and trees and that beautiful bird, shining bright. Okay, so it's almost like spotlight vibes. Okay, it's almost like chosen, picked. Okay, you're being picked in a number of people, or you stand out here, you're being approved because of, like I said, you played like according to the rules. You didn't break rules, or if you had to fix mistakes, you did, and some of you still working on that, so I do see that whatever you're working towards here is going to have such a positive outcome in terms of what you're anticipating. So maybe because of the weight, it made you feel a lot of anxiety. The patience is not an easy process. It's definitely not. So no judgment, okay? You're allowed to have these mixed emotions and confusion and anticipation, but the results are something that are showing up soon. So the 28th could be also maybe specific to the number of dates, but this message is going to be huge, as big as the spirit is, how bright the spirit is. It's going to be huge. Like I said, it's going to be a stress reliever. It's going to take a lot it's going to take a lot of load, okay, off of you. Okay, it's going to lighten your shoulders. Okay, it's going to also give a lot of recognition for you in a good and positive way. So maybe in the past, people, if they try to paint like a bad reputation over you, it's kind of like your light is coming out, and and it's removing that layer that people try to project on you. Okay, so maybe your light is speaking louder than lies. Maybe you're finally getting what you deserve, what is meant to come your way that was just delayed. Okay, so whatever you've been waiting for in terms of confirmation, you're getting that big confirmation. It's a big yes. Okay, so don't give up. All right, you got this. Verifies that this is a message that will clear things out for you. So you are going to receive that email, that phone call, that text, or communication from whatever source you're waiting to get that communication from. Even if the communication is an answer from a prayer, okay, even if it's a confirmation about like I said, paperwork. So you are going to get that information that you've been waiting for, the file. Okay, you're going to get the message that confirms that this is a positive outcome. So as you notice, the previous card, it spoke about something that impacts you positively, and this card speaks about positive news and positive outcomes. So positive is coming out a lot. So this is a big yes here. If this is a situation where you asked about something, that is this going to work out for me? Is this situation going to be approved? Is this situation going to work out for me in terms of what I'm trying to achieve? It's like, yeah. Or even if you're asking that, should I redirect myself a bit and change up the way that I'm doing things? And the answer is like, yes. Okay, so this is a little bit of support more than anything, because I do see that you have this desire to expand yourself, and you're being encouraged to expand yourself in a positive way. So some of it could be like seeing doves, okay, or birds or feathers that are around you quite a lot as signs. But some of you, if you're reminded of someone you love through birds or doves specifically, you're receiving that message from them. Some of you, if this is someone that comes maybe through dreams, and you notice that there's a certain bird around you after you have certain dreams, maybe this is a sign about a past loved one. Okay, these could be also like prophecies or confirmations about questions you asked in your prayers, and you're getting them through dreams, right? As confirmation that, yeah, good news is coming, right? So some of you, like I said, you could be like in a body of water, because that looks like water and trees and that beautiful bird, shining bright. Okay, so it's almost like spotlight vibes. Okay, it's almost like chosen, picked. Okay, you're being picked in a number of people, or you stand out here, you're being approved because of, like I said, you played like according to the rules. You didn't break rules, or if you had to fix mistakes, you did, and some of you still working on that, so I do see that whatever you're working towards here is going to have such a positive outcome in terms of what you're anticipating. So maybe because of the weight, it made you feel a lot of anxiety. The patience is not an easy process. It's definitely not. So no judgment, okay? You're allowed to have these mixed emotions and confusion and anticipation, but the results are something that are showing up soon. So the 28th could be also maybe specific to the number of dates, but this message is going to be huge, as big as the spirit is, how bright the spirit is. It's going to be huge. Like I said, it's going to be a stress reliever. It's going to take a lot it's going to take a lot of load, okay, off of you. Okay, it's going to lighten your shoulders. Okay, it's going to also give a lot of recognition for you in a good and positive way. So maybe in the past, people, if they try to paint like a bad reputation over you, it's kind of like your light is coming out, and and it's removing that layer that people try to project on you. Okay, so maybe your light is speaking louder than lies. Maybe you're finally getting what you deserve, what is meant to come your way that was just delayed. Okay, so whatever you've been waiting for in terms of confirmation, you're getting that big confirmation. It's a big yes. Okay, so don't give up. All right, you got this. I also see that some of you are meant to contact important people or contact about important information. So you also need to make that message, make that call, or send that message, send that email, whatever it may be, to be able to put yourself in a position to rise, okay? Because you are rising above a lot of situations here. The opportunity is being created for you. The platform is being created for you. Resistance is being removed in your path, in terms of, like, if you see the picture, it's almost like there's just this beautiful bird. There's nothing around it. There's nothing causing resistance, okay? So this is something that will set you free, whether it's a notification about money, the job, okay, or about that the case, or that opportunity, that project, that sponsor, stakeholders that you've contacted, that investments, whatever it may be that you've been putting your energy into, that, like I said, school, or confirmation about your child's results, or your results about even your health, or whatever it may be that you did some kind of test and you're going to get a result. Okay, so if you've been waiting for like positive news in terms of like your pregnancy and being able to have a child, that's the news you're getting positively, that you're officially having that baby, having that family environment that you desire. Okay, so I think it's just to say that it's really safe. Okay, the support here, it's safe to do the things that you've always wanted to do. I think in the past, mostly the delay or the resistance came a lot with one, I think it was, like I said, the competitive energy, where people maybe put you in a situation to be in a low vibrational energy. Like, people projected a lot of lower vibrational energy so much in your life that you carried that with you. Okay, and remember, because sometimes when we grow up in environments like that, we don't know better until we step out and realize, I actually don't like this and I actually want to change it, right? It doesn't have to be normal. I can choose otherwise, right? So I think you guys are truly choosing to heal a situation that you recognized how much it has affected you, as I had said. So now you're opening up your finances, you're opening up so much of your ability to create in every aspect, maybe like physically and emotionally and mentally. I think some of you could be like, you are the messenger, you're the person who gives people messages, you share messages, or they feel like they receive a message from being in your presence or speaking to you, okay? Or you're meant to be a messenger in terms of your work. The work that you do makes you express messages in ways that people need to hear them. So these may be situations where you help in communities or people in the community in a positive way, okay? The messages that you share with them. Some of you could be working in the industry where you are the one sending messages, maybe like you're literally like reception, admin, office, you're typing, maybe you work with like customer service where you talk to people in terms of like typing or writing or calling, that type of thing. Some of you are, people who basically are speakers, like your motivation, you send a message, right? Motivational speaker, you're a public speaker, you are perhaps someone who works in the industry where you do communications. You could be like someone who speaks like psychologist, right? Psychologist, you're speaking to someone. You could be somebody who uses your voice, even if it's like singing, but you could be just someone who sends a message across, okay? You could even be anything else besides what I've mentioned, but your work or your craft sends a message across. You could be working with like statistics, okay? For example, like logistics or statistics. For example, you could be like in construction and you take down the work and you write down, or you could be in finances, right? You do like you take down the documentation. Maybe the industry you work in, you like take down documentations. Maybe you're the one who actually collects files. Working in the government company, or even if it's private, but maybe strongly government, but you could be connected to paperwork that is relating to government or legal work, like I said. But this is a situation where this is positive either way, okay? Because there's so many people that are different in the groups. I try to mention, and that's why it takes a while, because I try to mention most of the energy that I feel around everybody to be able to confirm if this reading is also for them. But I feel like this pilot doesn't really matter what you guys do, to be honest. Okay, if you're trying to confirm, then this is my job, and I feel like you guys really just nailed it, whatever it is. You really just nailed it. You guys really just kind of like figured out the codes in some sort of way, or you are figuring out the codes, or you're being shown the codes, okay? So some of you could be working in like coding. Maybe you work with like IT computers, or like I said, you create the codes maybe in some sort of way. Some of you could be maybe like, for example, if you do mathematics or the industry of like engineering, okay, you do something that has solutions in some shape or form, whether it's building houses, creating something from scratch, okay? You have the ability or the gift or the skill that people require or people need, and people see it. Okay, I know that people, like, for example, in medicine, pharmacists, they do like science. I feel like this group has a lot of different energy to it. You guys do multiple gifts. For some of you, it's like you guys have multiple talents or gifts in general. Okay, so maybe expanding in your area of what you're doing is expanding to something else you're really good at. So you could be like just having favor of your gifts at this time. Your gifts are doing all the talking for you, or doing all the money, manifestations Okay, it's like you're manifesting your money attracting abilities, or being magnetic to money in some shape or form, or having a source of income. And it's like it's magnetic to what you're already gifted to, or whatever you're gifted with. So whatever the message is, receive it with your heart. You deserve it. Okay. And even if the situation requires you to be a little patient, and you're being asked to be patient, whether the message asks you to be patient to be able to retrieve something that you are gonna get at the end, just do that. Be patient. Trust the signs. Trust the process. Not everything is always about things always being against you. I think it's always important to focus on more than that. Not always focusing on what holds us back, what resists us, or what has held us back. Because we're not trying to repeat the past, right? We're trying to have positive outcomes, which means this is results for the future. So which means then we have to approach the situation with a different perspective. And perspectives that didn't work before won't work after. So that means then, different shape. They say energy cannot be destroyed or recreated, right? But it changes shape, it changes form. So you have the opportunity to realize that the power, you still have it. It's yours. You're born with it. It is yours. You can fight for it. You can dance for it. You can even rest. You'll have it. It's not going anywhere. But yeah, unfortunately, the experiences were just meant to be lessons, and they were meant to shape your character. Yeah, it says character building is not nice. But life was character building you for sure. Yeah, that trauma, all of that thing, all the things that you didn't deserve. Yeah, I definitely, don't condone, and I don't, I don't devalidate anyone. I don't take away from the hardship and the experience, and I respect it fully. But that strength that you got, that's character building. Right? They say God's strong as warriors, or whatever it may be, but you didn't get those muscles from nothing. You didn't get that soft heart as well, because not only did you build muscles on the outside, but your heart was being put in the right place as well. I think the most beautiful hearts is not allowing bad things in life to change you, to change how you're meant to be loving, how you're meant to be compassionate, because these things, they represent you first before anything. These are things you show yourself, because if you're hateful, which means you have to hate yourself first. You have to give that energy to yourself before you project it to someone, right? So if you choose love, that means you need to love yourself before you project love to someone else. It's just the law. The law of the universe, law of attraction, law of whatever. But we're here now. This is you. You're understanding that the energy that you're putting out positively is impacting you positively, even if it feels like it's taking time or it's slow. Okay, maybe you're taking your time like a tortoise and not rushing things. Maybe you're not meant to run a race. You're not meant to rush. You're being told, take it as a marathon. Okay, maybe it's even a road trip. It's not even a marathon. It's a road trip. Okay, you better drive and relax and stop by the rivers and take the moment and look at the trees and the birds, or look at the sunsets. Maybe you're being really just told to relax and enjoy the trip, because road trips are not easy, but the experience, the things that you get to experience, are what always remain with you. So your character building is what the things that have built you, and what has remained with you is telling the story. Okay. Yeah, so you've had to work maybe a little extra hard for what you deserve. You had to work harder than maybe, what feels like other people had easy. Okay, so you might have felt like, me. Amongst other people, I was the one who was going through the trials and the tribulations, and I think you're understanding why. Okay. The world might not understand why, but you're starting to understand why. you're starting to get it, okay, because of the way things are turning out for you. You're starting to see the results of everything you've been prepared for, everything that has been preparing you as well. So some of you here, it's almost like the message is you. I don't know how to explain it, but you are the end result. You are the positive outcome, or you are the good news of a situation. So it's almost like whatever effort and even just your faith alone that you've put in, or maybe before your faith was very hesitant, or you weren't really sure the direction you were heading, but now you're finding your feet, okay? But the way that you're standing straight, or you're standing firm in your faith, or you're standing your ground and standing strong with God, your higher power, the most divine, you know, it's becoming transparent in how things pour out in your journey. Okay, it's almost like you're seeing the evidence in your own situation. So maybe you've been like in situations where you're angry with God and like, oh God, why didn't you answer? Why didn't you show me something? And it's like finally you're seeing that thing you are very angry about with God. It's almost like that you see that angelic dove. It's almost like it's gonna that light, you know, see the light. It's like you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but you're also seeing the light in the tunnel while reaching out for the one at the end, right? So those moments where you're like, show me some light. I can't go all the way through with so much darkness in my experience. Like, shed some light, you know, keep my faith strong. And those prayers are being answered. You're being given the strength to stay strong in your faith, and your faith is multiplying and it's becoming evident, okay? So there's so much angelic energy around you, whether you believe it's ancestors, whether you believe it's angels, whether you believe it's God, whether you believe it's Jesus, whether you believe it's Allah, whether you believe it's, you know, Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever you call it in, you know, the human tongue. You know, it's like there's so much angelic energy, there's so much light around you, light energy around you, firmly protecting and supporting you as you have called, as you believe, as you feel, as you have seen. So trust the process, trust yourself, trust the higher power, trust your journey, trust your mission, okay, and trust the experiences and the lessons they're unfolding, even if it's hard, even if it feels terrible. All right, even if it feels terrible, laugh it out, okay? Cry and laugh it out. So you can cry first and you can laugh it out after, but don't cry forever. Don't choose tears to take away your smile, okay? There's good days, there's bad days. It's not always bad days, okay? So I do see something making your day here, okay? And it's gonna completely change everything else in your life. It's not gonna be the same ever again. All right, I'm so happy for you. You deserve to breathe. You can breathe. It's like a stress relief. Breathe. Okay, so the next card here, we have the Empress, okay, which is number 21, 12, and 3, okay? And the Empress, a lot of feminine energy. So some of you could be going through like a female cycle where you're going through maybe menstruation period. Some of you, your cycle could be like 3 days or a little longer than other people, maybe than the usual estimated time, or just how you experience them. I do see though that if you are someone maybe, for example, who really had tough time with periods, you're going to find something that will help you out with that. So if maybe you're consulting someone, or you're seeing a doctor, or you're getting some kind of medication prescribed for you, receiving some professional obviously help. So I'm seeing that something here will help you, or someone here will help you relieve how you've experienced a female cycle. Okay, so maybe this is someone specific. Okay, but I do see like a resolution. Your glow up is like how maybe you just experience that female cycle, maybe. Okay, maybe you're going to feel more relaxed or enjoy it a little more than before. Before maybe you didn't enjoy it at all. Okay, some of you, if you are trying to get your period, for example, because you are trying to get a child, I do see that you are going to be getting your cycle back to normal, or you are going to be someone who, if your period is stopping, you haven't had a period in a while, or you're spotting or things like that, you are going to maybe do a test and you're going to realize that you're actually pregnant. This could be even like a situation where you only find out when you're 3 months pregnant and you don't find out immediately. Okay, some of you, if you the time is 4:08 and my battery is 48, so 48. So if some of you, if you had a time where you had sexual relations with someone, 3 days before 3 days before your ovulation process, I feel like you gonna have to go and confirm if you are pregnant or not. Okay, but some of you here, I do see that you could be just celebrating a pregnancy within the time of March, or you're going to be finding out around March. Wow, maybe December for some of you, because it's number 3 and number 12, which is 2 different months. Okay, or some of you already found out previous month, previous year, and you are preparing to welcome your baby into the world. Okay, congratulations, you could be like full circle, okay, about to give birth now. Ooh, I'm sure you are ready okay, to meet your baby. Congratulations to a successful pregnancy to some of you that are pregnant, and those who will be planning to have children, congratulations to those who will be receiving positive results about the tests, because it did say positive news, positive outcome, right? So some of you could be having a situation where you are working on yourself to be a better mother, to be a better partner, like just generally as a female, or just generally in how you show up as a feminine energy. You might be trying to get more in touch with your feminine energy if you've been required to be very masculine for a long time, or if you struggle to balance your masculine and feminine energy. Okay, for some of you, if you are males, okay, watching this, I do see that you're going to be getting more intimate, like you're going to be finding more intimacy with your partner. You're going to enjoy intimacy with your partner, pregnant or not. You're going to enjoy intimacy, or you're going to find ways to explore and have fun during this time. I do see that some of you, if you are male, you could be having 3 kids. You could be having triplets. You could be having maybe 3 kids. Even if you're female, doesn't have to be just a male. Okay, you could have 3 kids, or you could have triplets. Okay. Wow. Congratulations. That is a lot of babies. If it's triplets, ooh, that is going to be a handful, literally. So congratulations if you've been waiting to receive these news. Congratulations to you. So some of you could be people that already have children. Maybe you're getting into a relationship with your own children, and you're meeting someone else who also has kids, and it could total to 3 kids, or it doesn't have to only be 3, can be any other number. But you could be meeting someone that is understanding of your situation, and only because you guys are more or less the same. And even if they don't have a child of their own, or maybe you don't have a child of your own, but I think this is someone maybe you do want to have a family with, and you are very welcoming. But I do generally see is that some of you, mostly if you already have a child, you are going to partner with someone who already has one as well. Okay, for some of you, male or female, you may be just getting into your looks, okay, the beauty, how you feel on the outside, how handsome or pretty you want to feel, okay. So maybe how you dress up, the attire, the type of clothes that you choose, okay, what you represent. Some of you could be in communities where you actually represent your religion, or you actually represent your culture, okay. You are someone who dresses in a kind of formal, or it can be formal, can be informal, but it represents a part of who you are, okay. I do see that this makes you, look good, feel good on the outside and the inside, okay. But people are seeing the glow up on the physical, the physical appearance of how you dress and what you stand for. It's almost like it's represented, okay, for it's almost like it's very obvious what your religion or what your culture is based on just the attire that you have, okay, whether you are a traditional person or not. But it's almost like you are seen for who you are, okay. I do see that if you're also male or female, you may be just generally dealing with a mother wound, okay. Some of you could be trying to forgive a parent, a mother, or some of you could be correcting or fixing a mistake or miscommunication with a mother, okay. Some of you could be just generally close to your mother, okay. You are very you have a better relationship as time goes, okay. Some people could have lost their mother and they are receiving communication from their mother, okay. Could be also just generally a female energy, could be a grandmother, could be an aunt, it could be even a female cousin, okay, if it's someone related in your family. But if it's a partner, obviously it would be then someone who is a wife or a girlfriend or fiance, whatever it may be, but it's a female energy, okay. So I'm seeing that this pile, there's a lot of female energy in this conversation. Some people here, if you were in a situation where you're being picked for something, I do see that a female might be the one who picks you in the crowd. So the female might be the one who interviews you for the job, okay. A female might be the one who is the CEO of the company. A female might be the one that you work with in a project. A female might be the one who helps you receive documentation or these files or whatever it may be, okay. Or this could be your partner, okay, who is a female, whatever gender you are, whatever your sexuality is, but this feminine energy is going to help you, whether it's on this planet Earth, or on the other side, in the other realms, spiritually. But you're being helped here, you're being supported to receive a step forward, okay. Say there's a lot of feminine guides showing up for you. And a lot of your feminine energy as well. Even as a man, your feminine energy is showing up. So maybe you're becoming more vulnerable in a relationship that is important to you. So if your partner has been asking for a lot of vulnerability or intimacy from you in a different way, you're expanding your relationship by allowing it to happen, you're being a man, masculine, in your energy, true to your masculine energy, and also exploring your feminine energy, where you allow your feminine to be soft, to be, to let you be soft as well. Some of you could be just in a position where you feel okay to cry. You feel like you're a man, but you feel like it's safe to cry. It's safe to express my emotions. It's safe to be who I am. Okay. Yeah. Some people could be part of the LGBTQ. I love saying that. LGBTQ. I say because it's a plus. plus. So the LGBTQ plus club. Okay, you could be part of that community. You could be whether you help people from that community or you are part of the community yourself. You could be accepted, or you could be the one that is receiving help from the people or someone specifically from that community. Okay, you could be helping females, maybe like a women community project. You could be part of like an GBV, or maybe you're standing for women's rights. Maybe you're helping young girls in certain projects, whether it's like sponsoring with small things like pads, or you're sponsoring them with clothes, or sponsoring for matric dances, small things. So it could be like some project that you're part of that are inspiring little girls or elderly women, and inspiring them to be in the Empress energy. So you are really growing foundations, whether you're male or female working in this project, but you're expanding other women, or you're expanding other feminine energies to be empowered in so many ways. If some of you, for example, you are parents, you're inspiring other people in the way that you parent. You're inspiring other people in the way that you raise your children. Okay, how you are a wife, how you are a sister, how you're a daughter, how you are, how you're a woman working in the position that you work in at work. The kind of authority you set in your feminine energy, because you can still have authority, but not try to be masculine, still be in your feminine energy. Okay, so people respect you because of the way that you carry yourself, and I think that people are seeing how you're transforming in your Empress energy, and your ability to use your Empress energy, your creative energy, in different shapes and form in your life. Some of you could be working with machines, so maybe you could be like sewing machines, maybe make clothes. Some of you could be inspired by like your grandmother, your mother. Someone gave you like an old machine of something very significant to what maybe you may be doing now, or you feel called to do now. Okay, you might have a very antique and very old furniture or piece of work or piece of art or piece of furniture that or piece of machine. What else did I want to say? Right, it could be even something very significant to you, okay, that maybe is in your space or your home, that is very important, that you still have from a past loved one, or just something you inherited. Okay, I do see that this is something you may be using, or this is something that you may sell for a good fortune. So if somebody's selling this, you might be actually getting like good results, like actual good money for this. Okay, so you might be selling something that will give you something very good from whatever it may be. So it could even be like jewelry, because she has like a crown. So you might be someone who loves crowns. Okay, but you have this very queen energy. You might be someone who's recognized for being crowned. Okay, so you might be crowned in a crowd of people, or you might be announced to have something, or to be in a position that you are in front of people. So for example, if you come and work for a certain company, you are going to be announced to work there, or to be announced to be in a position, or to be announced to stand out, or to be announced to be the best. Okay, you're going to be seen based maybe on your results. Okay, maybe the stats are going to say it if they stats at work, but you're going to be in a position where you're going to be crowned for how you're very good at what you are doing, your hard work, your abilities, okay, your mind, your genius mind. All right, and I feel like the stars always align in your favor, even though you don't always realize it. So like I said, what felt like really big hiccups no longer feel so bad, because you're seeing how things are turning around, and you're seeing that people are actually respecting you for the hiccups. The hiccups that you thought maybe were the reasons why life was so bad and horrible. You know, maybe you're very angry that this is not how my life planned. This is not how I planned my life. This is not how things should have ended for me. You know, I feel stuck. I feel this. I feel like having, whatever you tell yourself. And it's like, people actually respect the hiccups. Like, what, you went through what, and you achieved what, and you succeeded what? It's like, wow, do you actually realize that now things are working in your favor? Do you realize that you're now about to receive that good position or a better income, or you're finally going overseas where you said you're going to go, or you're finally going to meet the people you're meant to meet, or you're finally going to win the case, or you're finally going to get that money that you were meant to receive? Okay, whatever situation that is meant to exceed your expectations, you're going to get that success, you're going to get that approval, you're going to get that notification. Okay, and it's going to crown you. It's going to put you in a position, it's almost like a position of authority where you get to say, yes, I am who I say I am. Yes, I say that for me. I feel like you should say that to yourself in the mirror. Okay, yes, I am who I say I am. Okay, so remind yourself. And the next card that we have here is also the Empress in a different pile. Okay, so the Empress came up twice. So this is a very big significant on a yes, and it's a big significant on a success of something here, an achievement of something big. It's also a new beginning, a whole new beginning. So maybe some of you had to start from scratch. You had to go down to the bottom to, start over. Maybe you were really knocked down and you were really broke. You were dealing with poverty. Maybe you come from poverty. If it was like childhood experience, you had to really fight your way out. Okay, some of you are a situation where you just really had to start a project from scratch. Some of you just really had to plant those seeds from zero to create food for yourself, to create, you understand? So like you were meant to go to rock bottom for a reason. It was not meant to destroy anything. Glad you made it. It's not very hard. It's not very easy to go through hard situations and come out alive, and come out wanting to be alive, and coming out feeling confident about being alive. It's not always easy for all of us in the world. There's so many different of us, and people are struggling mentally to keep up, right? But congratulations that you never gave up. I'm seeing one. So one. Wow, that is a lot of ones. I think like 5. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot coming. There's a lot of bounty in your favor. There's a lot of expansion, as I had expressed. The fruits and the vegetables that you've put as seeds are now giving you the food that you require. The nutrition in the food as well is building your body. It's almost like it's being seen in the process. So you would have to explain that, no, I eat vegetables that I grow, and you would have to explain how. But it's like nobody really got to see the process. Nobody got to see, you putting the seeds, and the seeds, you making sure that you pour water every time and you feed them well. And people never saw the season where the times there was too much rain and it maybe messed everything up, or there was too much sun and it kind of messed things up as well. Nobody saw the seasons where not everything was always in your favor, right? Nobody got, or maybe some people got to see it, right? But they never got to see every detail of your struggle. But it's almost like whatever made you feel like you had to start over, or you had to go up and down, on and off, it's like you're finally steady. Okay, so number 3 here again. So 3 times better than what you expected. Space of 3 days, 3 months. Okay, I'm seeing an improvement in a gap of definitely 3 years of your life. So maybe the 3 is something you've been dealing with in the last 3 years. Could be just a stress relief right now. Okay. Some of you could be definitely parents, or like I said, you're dealing with a situation with a mother figure. Some of you could be connected to a mother figure, or trying to connect with your mother figure at this time. But I do see that something will be revolved here to clear this energy. And if you're dealing with like a mother wound, I do see that you're healing through this, okay? And something good is coming from you healing this mother energy, this mother wound here, whether you're a man or you're a female, okay? Definitely a baby though here. I'm seeing huge on baby, because the Empress came up twice, which means definitely a pregnancy for somebody. Hey, congratulations. The sun is shining so brightly. There's so much. Most of these cards, they express so much of how the day is going so beautifully. So what, like I said, was a season of rain and storm, is like the sun has opened up for you in this picture. You know, the river is flowing down so perfectly after the storm, and you just relax. You feel a sense of freedom. You know, you feel safe to be outside. You feel safe to let your children be outside, or whatever that is very fragile to you, you're allowing it to be seen. But it's almost like you're private about your moves, but you're not letting the fear of being seen to hold you back. So you're allowing people to see that side of you, okay? Okay, so some of you could be breastfeeding at this time if you already have a child, or you will be breastfeeding if you wondered, am I gonna breastfeed? Looks like you most likely definitely will be breastfeeding. Some of you could be working, maybe you work with mothers, okay? You work with helping like give birth, okay? Maybe you help mothers give birth, a midwife, that kind of situation. You could be someone who takes care of kids. You could be working in centers or charity homes, or anything that helps children. You could be a doctor. You could be a pediatrician. You could be studying any of these. You could be someone who feeds kids, okay? Or you, maybe for example, you create a product or you cook for kids, okay? In a certain community or a certain project, a center. Okay, some of you, like I did mention gaming for some, so maybe you do work with kids in terms of, you know, gaming or these arcades, or you might be taking your kids there sometime. For some of you, this might be you taking just your kids to have fun at the arcade, or any gaming, or going outside and playing with animals and riding, and, you know, even if it's like jumping castles and the pool and, you know, the rides and things like that, okay? For some of you, could be healers for children. You could be people that create medication, or you work with medication that involves children, okay? You could be a nurse, you know, that works with children. Some of you could be traveling because you're dealing with charity home that, you know, works with kids across the country. You could be even a foreign student helping children in other countries, or you could be meeting foreign students that you're going to help. Some of you could work in projects that will just generally help younger people than you are, okay? It doesn't have to be small children. It can be just people who are of a young age than you are. So you're going to help them grow, and you're going to help them improve using your abilities, your skills, your mastery, your qualification or whatever education you have or whatever experience you have, you're going to pass it on basically onto the next generation, whether it is your own child or those on the outside, which is the community, or even those who are in your circle, like your sister's kids or your friends' children or whatever it may be. But you're going to be almost like an inspirational mentor that is going to help pretty much expand other children or other young adults, let me say, or any age. Because for example, you could be, in your 40s helping someone in the 20s type situation, someone in the early 30s type situation. So it depends whatever you would represent as younger than you, but you could be just helping someone that is just of a young age or dealing with someone of a younger age than what you are. Okay, some of you could be just receiving guidance from someone that you see as a mentor, who is basically the one that is older than you and you're the one who is younger. So you could be receiving guidance from someone that might be teaching you as some kind of student, taking you in as their student and helping you master something. You might be getting knowledge, resources, all these tools that you need, right? Because you can see all the bounty. These are all resources here, to say that you're being provided for at every time, at every point in your life. There's the water, there's the sun, whatever is needed to grow, you are not lacking. So whatever is needed in terms of your needs, okay? Because water, food, the earth itself in this picture is about life, about living. The needs that are required to survive are all there. The basics are all there. So I'm seeing that all your basics are going to be corrected. All your basics are going to be, balanced, put in line. Okay? So the next card here we have Justice, number 11. It says balance. So I had highlighted already a tint in the last card that your basics are going to balance. So you're going to be provided for in every aspect of your life. And I do see that things are going to clear out a lot more than what it was. Maybe before it was extremely chaotic. And the time on my clock is 4:36 and my battery is 5:6. So which is 3, 4, 5, 6. Synchronicity from when I already mentioned as I was recording this that 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is synchronicity into every step of your life is being orchestrated the way it should. So even if you make some mistakes, but you're always being redirected the right way to say, okay, let's go, that this path is clear, this path is safe. Here your enemies or the people that try to be competitive or whatever things that your challenges, your obstacles, even your own shadow, even your own doubt, okay, whatever tries to come in your way, okay, your temptations, your addictions, the tests, the trials and tribulations, whatever struggles and challenges you feel like you've had to face and you keep facing, it's almost like you're being shown that this direction here, okay, if you change a little bit of your direction here or your method here, or your system here, or your way of thinking here, you're going to have a more clear path or a little bit of more clarity, okay, than you did before, okay? So you already know a lot of what you don't want. So it's almost like you're being shown now what you actually want. So, and if you notice the picture, it speaks about justice. So it's almost like you're finally getting the justice that you deserve. So if it was a case, like you're dealing with a case where it's literally a situation that determines whether you've won a case or not, it's almost like you're winning this. Or it's been confirmed that something is in your favor. There's a sense of fairness or an agreement here, a resolution based on a situation, whatever you went there for. I do see that, if it was a situation of justice because of a trauma that was caused on you, I do see that there will be evidence or there will be a situation that will be clear about what happened. So maybe if it was a situation where it's like, but nobody wanted to believe your side of the story, it's almost like you're providing some sort of evidence, or there is being some sort of clarity that is being provided for, that takes your side of the story, because it is the truth, and only because it's the truth. Okay, don't think, guys, you're gonna lie and expect all the time that, oh, my lies are gonna get me through. You can't go in a situation to win fairness based on lies, and expect the next person to not win based on lies. Do you get what I'm saying? You guys are more or less the same. Now it's a competition of who lies more. Who lies more. So you have to, if maybe that's kind of like how you thought you had to win a court situation, you had to maybe deal, or the previous person might have been the one dealing with lies, like they had to pay their way out of court cases, or they had to pay other people, or whatever it is. It's almost like something about the truth of that matter is being balanced, or is being cleared, or somebody's being caught, even if you're not the one who's going to tell or who's going to be part of that interaction, but there's an exposure here where it's almost like somebody is like, almost like that hot day. It's like if they're sneaking out with documents or files, or they're sneaking out trying to sneak away from a situation they created, or lies that they created. It's almost like that situation is being cleared. Okay, they were seen, there's evidence, or there's a screenshot or a picture or some kind of document or file that maybe links to this. Okay, but it's almost like something is going to be balanced here. Okay, if somebody was dealing with that, somebody here, your justice is just your money coming together. If you see there's grandparents, or some of you could be receiving messages or guidance from past loved ones that may be a grandparent. Could be both, could be just a grandmother, right? Because there was a lot of feminine energy. But if you've lost both your grandparents, I feel like they might be showing you that they are both on the other side. But there's so much support here. Okay, the animals in the picture could also represent a lot of the energy, or maybe they could be signs about messages you ask about. But this is so much clarity on this path. It's almost like there's no resistance, there's nothing that is trying to come in your way. It's almost like you get to choose to move around this ground. Some of you could be people that are working in agriculture, or you could be receiving land, you could be buying land, or you could be given a right to work on a certain land. Some of you could be working with like livestock. Some of you could be working with like plants. Maybe you create food, or you plant food, or you sell food, or maybe you sell livestock, or you make meat. Butcher. You work in a butcher, that kind of situation. Some of you could be in a situation where you just generally work with health. Okay, health for animals or health for plants. So maybe you could be like part of the people that go and check if the restaurants have the right they following the right regulations, or they're following the right rules in terms of like paperwork, or how clean the environment is, or how they do their food to ensure that their customers, right? You could be that person maybe documenting certain reports about helping or standing up for the law, or standing up for people who are using the law. Okay, I hope I'm making sense here. Okay, so you could be the person that is reported to, or you write information that needs to be in terms of like you reporting about a scenario situation. You might be the person who is the lawyer, or you might be the person who has a lawyer, or speaking on your behalf, speaking even if you are on your own, speaking on your own, as someone who is represented very well, whether you're alone or with someone. Okay, so I see that the law will recognize whatever information you have accumulated, whatever documentation you have to represent. Okay, I do see that a situation, maybe something will be also viewed very clearly. There will be details that will be viewed clearly that will work in your favor. A situation will be highlighted that is meant to benefit you. Okay, but there's a balance out of a situation that made you feel negative or that made you feel like you really had to wait. So a delay here was protection in some shape or form, or like I said, the delay was character building. The delay might have been just that it was waiting literally for a particular date or for stars to align a certain way. Literally, the time is 4:44 on the clock. This is a number of protection. So the stars might have just needed to align on a specific date for this to happen. It was never about the outside influences. It was never about how hard you prayed. Maybe this was just you having to just, stick to the process, stick to the plan, go through the character building, learn the lessons and whatever it may be. But this was bound to happen on that particular date anyway. Even if you did great or you didn't do great, it's almost like you were going to be faced to have a level of balance at a particular timeline. So this year, obviously, whenever you're listening to this might be the particular timeline when it's like, yes, the world is coming full circle in your favor. Okay, you're being chosen amongst the many people in the world. Okay, or you being seen amongst the billions of people in the world, or you're influencing so many billions of people in the world. But so much about the world, or you traveling the world, the world being in your hands in some shape or form. Okay, you're retrieving something that will mean the world to you, or something that will change your world. Wow. Some of you could be grandparents. You could be someone watching this and you're a grandparent. These experiences could relate to your children or your grandchildren, or you're expecting a grandchild. Okay, some of you could be expecting to be a grandmother very soon. You're having an audition to be a grandmother, or you're helping guide your children and your grandchildren. So whatever you lost, is spilled milk. You don't have to cry over this anymore. There's so much opportunity coming from you, for you. It happened for you, not against you. It happened in your favor, not against you, not to destroy you. So everything was happening for you. There's so much better coming. Whatever you lost will be multiplied or brought even in larger amounts, or even better. Okay, so always make sure you get the right information. You focus on the details. Know your rights, or understand your own perspective, so that it's something that you can stand on. Ask for help if you need to ask for help. Reach out to other people and ask for guidance if that's what you need. Don't be afraid to receive help as well. Don't be afraid to use that help. Not everyone obviously is going to be there to help you forever. It's going to be for a season. But know when to stand alone, know when to receive help as well. So help could be literally just, making that call and asking about the information that you need for the details that you need for the paperwork, because you can't know that on your own, right? So that is also help. You don't have to, beg or borrow or, put yourself in weird situations. It doesn't need you to do that to be able to receive help. No, it's just saying that allow yourself to receive help when needed. Reach out to the necessary sources. Same with receiving your results, right? We have to go to the necessary sources. So I do see that you're going to succeed with putting together all the information that you need and receiving the right help about it, and this will be in your favor. So ensure that you complete your goals, your to-do list, your wish list. Okay, whether it's about things that you would like to complete in the next 10 years or even just the next 10 days. Okay, it's up to you, but make sure that you focus on the roles that are important to you, and look at the ways that you can improve and go about putting action into those. These will help you raise your vibration. Every time you impact your own life positively, it brings about positive things. Okay, so keep following your dreams. Some of you could be people that are working with animals, like I said. Some of you could be like a vet, or you're a doctor for animals, or you're someone who works at the zoo or anything like that, or whether it's sea animals or land animals. Some of you could be people that you work with pens, crayons, okay, like drawing, graphics, whether it's even using the computer, like animation or anything like that, AI. Some of you, like I said, you use a lot of like stationery to like write information or jot down information, or you someone who might be teaching or helping students, like I said, kids as well. Some of you could be people that are creating products that are actually stationery, or you work in a shop that sells stationery, okay, or sells papers and pens and crayons or something. So take it as it resonates. It could even just generally relate to the kind of department you work in, or even just the kind of company you work for, okay? This could be even like logo, maybe a logo of a pen, of crayons, or anything to do with craft. So a lot of you are expanding in your craft. You're completing a lot of your to-do list, your wish list, and your goals. Okay, a lot of completion of important key roles in your life. You're definitely co-creating. You're helping the universe this time in a more positive way. Maybe before you complained a lot, or because you were so angry most of the time, you didn't always spend more time being grateful. You spent time panicking, worrying, stressing, and kind of lashing out. Okay, but I feel like you've changed, or you are changing that slowly. So you're prioritizing things that you desire, things you're listening to that internal voice. You're listening to, what is it that I want? What is it that I think the more focus is the universe asking you what you want, because already what you need, you're being provided. What you've been given is the things that you need. Okay, that has been corrected, the basics, right? But now it's like, what do you want to flourish? Okay, tell us, we got you. So a lot will be focused on the decisions that you make and how you make them. How you go about the decisions that you make is going to be mostly the highlights, okay? How you positively impact the decisions that you make will guarantee how smoothly and how easily you get through them this time, more than the last time. So you're rising above fear, okay, and you're letting God hold your hand, and you're trusting you and God this time, okay? No one is going in front or behind. You're both by each other's side. You're holding each other's hand, and you're making sure you're rising above fear, okay, and you're letting the light guide you, okay? And God is letting you know it's safe. I got you. You got this. We got this.